Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. What a Monday this is. Good to have you on the program. We are on day 3 of Disco Elysium. I tossed around the idea last week of canceling Disco Elysium, or at least putting it on pause while I play Horizon Zero Dawn, as Horizon Zero Dawn has been long requested on the program, and it is available on the PC now. But after positing that potential option, there was an outcry, a backlash, and an outcry in the chat from fans of Disco Elysium. They just couldn't have me stop the game. So we are back with Disco Elysium, and the plan is to play Horizon Zero Dawn on Wednesday instead of doing 2 days of Witcher 3. So 1 day of Witcher 3, 1 day of Horizon Zero Dawn, and then we'll be continuing with Disco Elysium until we're done. So happy to see each and every one of you on the program today. Amy Hudson, Rachel, Slatty Bartfest, Isabella Kafel, Van de Bergen, Mr. Truth, Julian Z, rockin' that gold derby, Buff Canucks, Pushy G2K, Milosh, Cliff Sains, Van de Bergen, Maciel, the man from Vault 69, Lane Berry, Pushy, G2K, Melanie Richards, Buff Canucks, Garmac Sane, Weird Beard, and a big shout out to everyone who's watching on Facebook right now. Dominic James, Jocelyn Antonio, and Joey Michael. Also, a big thanks to Jocelyn, who gave me the first Facebook stars of the day today. Morning to the Superstar Cop Ox, says Jocelyn. That's right, it's Superstar Cop time. We'll be choosing all of the Superstar dialogue options if we can. Let's see, where did we leave off with our intrepid hero? I believe we had just clambered inside an old brick smokestack where we found a woman who made custom dye for RPG games. And we purchased one, but we don't really have the money to buy it yet. So we need to go off and earn some money. Also, we need to tell the bookshop lady that there's no ghost, the building isn't haunted. The reason that businesses failed in the building is not because the place is haunted, but because people chose to make poor business decisions. And we learned of one. Somebody was trying to come up with a game whereby they could connect. It was basically a precursor to internet gaming, but without the internet and on the phone, which was an interesting idea, but obviously wouldn't work, and so the business crumbled. Anyway, we went to the cop car. We got our flashlight. We opened up the flip book. We got a lot done in our last broadcast, but we've barely scratched the surface of this town. Martinez, I believe, is what the name of this town is. And so we're going to dive back into the world of Martinez, and hopefully our superstar cop will be able to crack the case of the body hanging in the tree. And also, we need to figure out a way to pacify that Kuno kid, because I think we need him to climb up the tree to cut the body down. So we need to make friends with him. But first, coffee. Dominic James on Facebook says, will you be streaming Cyberpunk 2077 when it comes out? Absolutely. I can't wait. I've been waiting for it for well over years now. Years since the first trailer came out. So yeah, we'll be streaming it as soon as it's available. Robert Nye says, hey, Oxhorn, Robert here from England on Facebook. Thank you very much, Robert. And then Jack Schmidt is raising a toast to practically all of the regulars in chat. Thank you, Jack. Good to have you back on the program. Okay, let's light the cigar. And it's drummer again. Okay. So we'll have to come back. Ooh, I've only got one morale left. Let's Let's heal some morale there. Now, was there anything else we could do to interact with this environment? And I don't think so. We talked with the lady. Loving this flashlight, by the way. Well, let's go back to, Did we explore this area? No, we didn't. Oh, but that's on the other side of the door. Let's go back to the bookshop lady and tell her that it's not haunted and that she needn't fear, but that she may need to work harder on her bookshop if she wants to survive, as long as she doesn't make her poor daughter work much on it. Now, did we take a look at these? Yeah, this was the role-playing game, right? Yep, we inspected all of this. Now, there was that one tape that we're missing, aren't we? Frequency fireplace. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on an alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. And we've already done this. Okay, and that was the door. Well, if we ever find another tape, we'll know where to play it. Mannequins in here. That's about it. No, wait, what's that? Is that the door we used to get in? No, that's the door out. Oh, and we also need to increase our physical strength to be able to pass that check. $20.57. What time did we need to meet him on the balcony? Pick up the dice from the dice maker. It'll be ready in 8 hours. End of day debrief with Kim at 2200. So we've got some time. It's 2100 right now, or soon will be. Yeah, we can take the flashlight off. Vladimir says, "Hey, hi Ox. Hello chat. Long time no see. I'm able to watch you live again instead of recordings. Yay! Well, Vladimir, good to have you back on the program. So happy that you're here, and also glad you're able to watch live." Okay, let's put the tool away. Then there was something that increases my stats, was it, that I could put in my hand? There's a rifle. Can I put the rifle in my hand? It's an antique Margrave rifle. Handwritten note from the fridge. Did we interact with this? It was from the giant icebreaker fridge. Yeah, we read that. I could have sworn there was something else I could put in my hand. Well, just keep that there then, I guess.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
Very generous, very kind, Vladimir. Thank you so much. The Darksarcophagus, we can say, and pause dramatically. Yes. How was it? 3 options. It was a charnel house of failed business enterprises, leeching life energy from this bookstore. Honestly, a dump. Nothing to see there. Just heaps of garbage. Someone should let the sun shine in, or I am in no position to give up personal opinions. What, we can't tell her about... We can't tell her about the dice lady that we found? Okay. Well, it was a charnel house of failed business enterprises, but I wouldn't say that it's leeching life energy from this place. Maciel says, "Yay, Disco Elysium. 4 more hours of reading. And if a child refuses to sleep during nap time, are they guilty of resisting arrest?" Oh, Maciel, thank you so much for that. My goodness. Well, let's do this one. Sorry, I just got a text. It's important. Okay, great. I just got a great text. I was relieved. Okay, now, sorry. What are my options here? Here we go. Yes, she says. But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity? I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Niha, and she's a novelty dice maker. A novelty dice maker? Her eyes widen. Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. She is not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like you, too. No, ma'am. I have felt her aura. She's not the one to blame for this curse. Or 3, she may be involved, but I don't have a way to question the malignant entity further. Remember, Plaisance only let us through because we convinced her that we were some sort of aura inspector. Let's try number 1. Maybe they could help each other in terms of business if they trust each other. But she looks perplexed. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse? Suggestion. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. Okay. Inland Empire, you've come this far. You know how to end it. There is an entity behind the entity. Really? 5 options. Holy cow. Number 1, she says there's no curse because there are too many inconsistencies. 2, she said it's just capitalism. Bankruptcy is a quirk of our economic system. 3, we can lie to say the source is in the taxidermist's shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon this place. 4, honestly, I don't have an answer yet. There are still leads to be followed, like that strange radio computer thing. Or 5, there is another entity, more malignant, pulling the strings in Martinez. Perhaps in my travels, I will cross paths with it. Well, my highest stat is Inland Empire. And Inland Empire tells me to point to another entity, and my only option to do so is this last one, number 5. Let's try that. A third order presence? Yes, says Plaisance, and she lets go of the pendant. A great dark relief washes over her, says Empathy. I've heard of these tri-actors in certain occult literature that's too dark to dwell on for too long, and definitely not in the presence of my daughter. She gestures for you to be silent. Hey, 70 experience, all right, level up, and a new skill point. I understand everything, sir. Thank you for descending into the maelstrom. I will keep fort up here, strengthen the wards, do my best, and if you happen upon the third entity in your travels, she performs an X-shaped cross on her chest. May the Lord be with you. Kim says, well, this has been absolutely educational. If we happen upon the third presence in our travels, we will certainly come back to tell you. And Inland Empire tells us, yes, the venture continues in other waters. Darker waters. Kim then turns to us. Should we get out of here before the vortex collapses? Farewell for now, we can say, book peddler. Wow, that was great. Where'd the daughter go? Is she doing her homework? It's still 9 o'clock, and we still have that dialogue check up there to pass. Well, we've got 2 points to... No, we've got 1 point to spend, don't we? Man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get money in time. Broken window, visual calculus, easy. I could probably do that one. So these are all the ones that I can do again. Visual calculus, endurance, interfacing, pain threshold, and physical instrument. I've got 2 physical instrument checks. I should probably put some more into physical instrument. But they're both so challenging. Well, let's put it in a physical instrument. It's at 5 now. I'm pretty buff. And let's try and do those challenges. One was the weightlifting, right? Sleeping dock worker and the barbell. And the ice cream maker. Oh, but that's heroic. Well, I can try it. My tasks updated. Explore the whirling's secret passages. That's right, there was that back end that we needed to explore. Find a way into the secret passage, and then find out who is in the Union box. Gart has told you some unruly Union men gather in the mess hall of the Whirling in Rags. They're not there today, but most likely they'll eventually show up. Keep an eye out for them. Ooh, that one just updated. Maybe that means they're there. Well, first of all, let's go try the barbells again. Then we'll go to the Whirling in Rags, where we find the dock worker, and we can go check on the dock workers, or the union members. Legendary 14. Let's try it. This is going to hurt me. Oh, it's a low percent. Ouch. Damaged health. Man, I must need a lot. Seems like I'm a little out of shape, or maybe these gloves just suck, we can say. And Kim says proper weightlifting gloves would definitely afford a better grip. The lieutenant agrees. Ooh. Wait, can I get better gloves? Ah, interesting. Well, maybe I need to find a better pair of gloves before I attempt that check again. In the meantime, we can go talk with the dock worker. Is it locked? What? The store on the other side is closed for the night. Come back tomorrow. Really? Alright, well, we know another way out. Plus, there was the fridge. Let's go see if we can pass the fridge check. The fridge was this way. Breadbus says, holy crap, I just realized it's still day 1. What an eventful... Dad, lol. What an eventful day. Yeah, day 1 of Disco Elysium. That's right. Okay, we need to go... To get to the fridge, we need to go into the basement. What happens when a day goes by? I'm really curious. Ice cream maker. Okay. Oh, it must have been over here. That's right. Let's try this again. Turn the ice cream crank. Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You never became a poet or an entrepreneur. What better to assuage the creeping sense of failure than some frozen fat and sugar? Well, try to crack the lid open. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in. Oh, that's right. We need the pry bar. I forgot. Let's try that with the pry bar. Heroic 3% chance. Pry bar not strong enough. Try it. Nope. That's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open. Advanced, how do we get one? I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important enough to requisition a special tool. Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Then we will know what's inside this mysterious ice cream maker. Okay, well, I guess it just wasn't time. So we'll put this back and get our flashlight. Then see if we can talk with the dock worker. Milos says, I caught my son chewing on electrical cords. I had to ground him. He's doing better currently, and now conducting himself properly. Oh, that was a whirlwind, Milos. That was a whirlwind of awesomeness. The Pip-Boy arrived. Misa happy, says Milos. Well, enjoy your Pip-Boy. I'm glad it arrived. Nope, that was right. Whirling in rags. Okay. Ooh, more people. Hey. Let's see if we can wake up the dock worker. The worker's in deep slumber, interfacing. A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes your fingers itch. Hey! We can probably do it. Yeah! Wake up, this is an order. I am the law, or no words, just a primordial scream. Can we do this? Can we just go? Let's do it. We're a superstar after all. We're going to primordially scream. The 30-something man slowly lifts his head and gives you a pensive look. Why the yelling, man? 3 options. You're alive. You looked out for the long count there. 2, I just wanted to see what would happen if I yelled. 3, I need you to answer some questions right now. Let's make sure he's alive first. Wait, what? I was just sleeping. He seems pissed off. What do you want, officer? Did you see anything interesting in your dreams? Thank God, no. 4 options. Was it a fathomless darkness into which we ought to be deferred like corpses into a mausoleum? Or 2, was it a pure nothing, your consciousness no larger than a single grain of malt? 3, tell me, was it bliss free of X somethings? Or 4, you're right, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about corpses in a mausoleum. The worker stares at you, his eyes dry from sleep. A web of wrinkles covers his tanned forehead. I don't know what you're talking about, kind sir, but when I'm out, then I'm really out. No corpses, no mausoleums, just quality time. Inland Empire, a little me time in the abyssopelagic zone. at the bottom of the ocean. You can never return to it now. Only detective work remains. Wakefulness and detection. Tell me about the wild pines. We point to the writing on his overalls. That's the name of my employer. I work in logistics, he says. Empathy. He doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this. Well, therefore, we probably shouldn't say that's wonderful. So let's go, how's that going? And he says, how's it going? The dock worker lets out a big yawn, then stares at the cafeteria's terrace doors. Some fingerprints glisten on the glass. Haven't you noticed what's going on outside? 3 options, of course. It's a total madhouse. Or 2, I'm not sure what you mean. Or 3, I've almost never been outside this building. Well, we need the politics of this world explained to us, as it's still day 1. It's stream 3, but day 1. So let's do number 2, I'm not sure what you mean. And he says, we're in the middle of a strike down at the harbor, trying to force some sense into the executive board of Wild Pines. For one, I could use some more shut-eye in the morning. He rubs his eyes and sighs. Right to work, right to sleep, I say. Number 3, why are you sleeping here while the others are out striking? And he says, they got it. Measurehead's got it. He's guarding the gate. I'm just getting some sleep, or was. Measurehead's got it. Physical instrument, success. The way he says Measurehead implies ultimate trust in this head reckoner's physical prowess. He seems like a worthy rival. You should slay him. Okay, so another union member named Measurehead is guarding a gate. I guess we'll meet him later. Who's behind organizing the strike, we can ask. And he says, we are, the workers, the union. We know what we need, what's right for us. You mean there's no leader, we can ask? And he says, okay, I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge of the union. He's smart, knows how to negotiate. He's got our back. What about the dead body in the yard, we can ask? And he says, yeah, what about it? You seem cool with it. You have many of those hanging from trees around here? And he says, you know, people die here every day. Someone's found in a ditch. Another one falls in a manhole. A third one gets eaten by stray dogs. And he respites. If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern? Wow, an interesting response from this dock worker. I'm instantly suspicious. Someone has to look into it, we can say. It looks like I'm that someone. Tell me what you know. And he says, I can tell you this. Trouble's ahead. We pass a physical instrument check. You have a pretty solid feeling that the man's not just mouthing off. He's strong, but even he has reasons to be cautious here. 2 options. The trouble is already here, or how else would you call a dead man hanging from a tree, or what trouble? We'll do the first one. Gained experience. They say your guy was a killer, your tree man. He has friends, same as him. Killers. There's only one thing they know well, how to wreak havoc. Wait, who's saying that? We can ask, and he says everyone. It's a local rumor, and then he yawns suddenly. What you're saying, things might get violent around here? And he says, you heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know, and I prefer to keep it that way. Kim chimes in and says, the lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note in his blue notebook. Esprit de Corps, which we succeed, says, so Union people think he was a killer, and he thinks, even Sleepy here, this doesn't help a lot, but it's something. Good work, detective. So he was executed by the Union mob, basically, because people thought that this guy was a killer. No trial, no police, executed by the Union mob. Yours, we can say, point at the bottle and the spilt rum, which we licked, by the way, earlier in the stream. And he says, indeed, help yourselves to some, and then he blinks. Wait, no, it's empty. Sorry about that, pal. I already had some. It's a fine rum, we can say. He says, knocks you right out when you down a bottle or two. He rubs his face, then buries it in his hands. You can hear a faint snore. All right, I'll let you sleep. Sleeping dock worker. The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already back down on the table in sweet sleep. All right, we got some answers. 2,100 hours. We need a little bit more before we can check in with Kim. We can talk with the rest of the patrons here. It's all about money, you know, he says. Can we... We can't talk with the other guys. Huh. Oh, bummer. I thought I was going to be able to talk with all of these people, but no. Hey, can we do karaoke now? Oh, let's do karaoke. Oh, we can't do it. I can't interact with it. I guess I got to pass the Superstar Challenge. Well, this guy's new. Here, can we go behind here? No. It's still closed. Try to push on the door. Hey, maybe if we equip our chain cutters, let's just equip everything and see what happens. Nope. Nope, none of that's working. Well, let's put our flashlight back. And... Well, there was an easy success upstairs. It's early for the balcony, though. Let's see. We could... The debrief is at 2200. Make a truce with Kuno. We need to find Smokes. You tried to punch Kuno and failed catastrophically. Now you need to make a truce with him to gain access to his knowledge. Offer him something he might like. Smokes, a man from Heimdall book. Oh! Well, did we buy a man from Heimdall book? No, we bought a different book. How much money do we have? Can we buy the man from Heimdall book? Okay, let's see if we can make peace with Kuno. Milosh says this is going to be the first year our family won't be going to Hawaii because of the COVID-19. Usually it's because we can't afford it. Well, I've never been to Hawaii, so you're one up on me there, but sorry to hear that, my friend. Okay. Oh, it's locked and I can't buy it now.
To make an offering to Kuno!
No, we don't have anything. No smokes yet, and that body is getting more bloated. Well, great. We have to wait until the morning to buy a copy of the Heimdall book. Let's see if we can get some more money. Oh, that's right. We stubbed our foot on the trash can in our last stream. The coin-operated viewer has been banged up, inoperable. And then we saw those two. Let's go north. I don't believe we've been this far north yet. A lonely cormorant surveys the sea, indifferent as you approach. The belly of this boat shines like it was recently painted. Backyard wall. This is a wall on the side of an apartment building. Conceptualization impossible. Why am I looking at this wall? Probably a mural could be painted here, maybe. Let's try it. Maybe we'll get double sixes. No! You have no clue. It's just a wall. But we pass a shivers check. So many walls all over Martinez, weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling. So we need to pass a conceptualization check. Oh, we're behind the wall now. We can talk to the little girl.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Pigs come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out.
No, why would you even say that, we can say. And then she says, well, then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to scare me, pig. Not a good idea at all. And that's that. Is this a staircase? Ooh, money. Yeah. All right, we got some magnesium. Fantastic. Maybe we can buy the Heimdall book when the shop opens up in the morning. Now, what's this? A garden hose. This won't be of use until the snow melts. Okay. There must be another way into the building. Hey, what's that noise down there, says this guy. A balcony with a view into the yard and the hanging. Can I get up there? No. That smoker up there could be a witness. Talk to him. Okay. Hey, smoker! You see a young man on the balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while. MeWe in the chat says, sorry I'm late. My homework. My homemade soup now for you. Eating my homemade soup now for you. Got you. Sorry, I was reading too quickly there. Thank you, MeWe. Good to have you on the program.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
He says in a quiet voice. Despite the cold, his shirt hangs unbuttoned on his frame. We have 4 options. We can say, why are you whispering? It sounds like you're already in trouble. 2, no trouble from me. I just want to know what's going on here. 3, too late, young man. Trouble's found you. Or we could come back and do it later. Let's try number 1.
There's no trouble. I'm just speaking in a lowered voice.
He says, sotto voce.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie, if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Got you. We pass an electrochemistry check to learn that it's the god of cigarettes and youth. Ask him if he's got any to spare. Ooh, yeah, then we could give some to Kuno. Visual calculus, don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing. Hold on, can I at least have a cigarette, we can say?
Apologies, but this is my last one.
Oh, you jerk. He takes another drag and shivers. Chemistry, the god himself has denied you absolution. I need absolution, we could say, or can't you just, toss that one down? Do we plead with him and shout, I need absolution? Is that how you get a cigarette in the real world? You go to a bar and say, I need absolution! And then someone smoking outside passes you a cigarette? Let's ask him to toss one down.
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Shut up and throw, kid, or you're right, that was obviously a bad idea. Forget I said anything. Let's shut up and throw, kid.
I'm not throwing anything.
Hand-eye coordination needs success. There's no way you'd catch that cigarette anyway. What, really? Yes, really. Don't even try. You'll just embarrass yourself. You're right, that was obviously a bad idea. Forget I said anything.
As you wish.
And he takes another drag. Actually, the gendarmerie really needs to talk to you.
Is it really that important?
He asks you, adjusting his shirt. We pass a half-light check to learn, like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Let's start with his name. My name, he says, my name is Martin Martinez. Oh, great. We fail a rhetoric check. Martin Martinez, good local name. Let's go with that. That's probably not his name. It's like John Johnson or Mr. Smith. Looks like you've got a good view of the Whirling's backyard. Can you tell me anything about the hanging? I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarmerie. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken away, says the smoker on the balcony. And Kim says, we will remove the body as soon as possible. Now tell us, where were you last Sunday? And the smoker on the balcony says, oh, and he waves lazily with his cigarette. You already asked me that, didn't you? Did I, we can ask? Did you, when we look at Kim? I'm pretty sure I didn't, we can say. We'll say, I'm pretty sure I didn't. And he says, no, not you. He gestures idly. Some more muscular type. He was already quizzed by one of the Union thugs. Kim says the lieutenant takes out his little blue notebook and writes something down. And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman? Asks Kim. Last week? I don't know. Look, he says, and he looks around the courtyard again. Rain patters on the windowsills and dead house plants. Too late to do them any good. Kim says you didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday? The smoker on the balcony sighs. I had a friend over. What kind of friend, we can ask? And the smoker says it was my Sunday friend. Oh, what do you do on Sunday with the Sunday friend? We pass an electrochemistry check. A Sunday friend. How intriguing. Well, I think this tells us exactly what he was doing on Sunday. What's your friend's real name? Did he see something, we can ask? And the smoker on the balcony says, well, he doesn't reply, gesturing no with a cigarette. Under the dull and darkening sky, the neighboring windows stand silent. We pass a half-light check to learn someone hides behind a curtain. Those windows have eyes, and those eyes are watching, spying on you three. Okay, well, what did we learn? That a muscular guy walked around and inquired about the hanging. All right, we'll talk later. We can say the smoker on the balcony says, no, we won't. He takes one last drag of his cigarette before stubbing it out on the balcony. Now, if you excuse me, I really need to get going. We can pass a suggestion check to convince him to stay. 72% chance, and we didn't bum the cigarette, which makes it lower. 72% chance, and I fail it. Suggestion, which I fail. Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Throw yourself before his very feet like a dog. What do you want from me? Do you want me to cry, huh? Or please don't go. I'll stop drinking. I'll take the trash out. Just please don't leave me, we can say. These are our only two options. Let's cry. And he says, no, for God's sake, I don't want you to cry. He takes a quick step back, looks around, clearly disturbed. Listen, I really have to go. With a flick of his wrist, he sends the extinguished cigarette sailing over the rail. We pass an electrochemistry check. Ah, there it goes. Wasted. You would have gotten at least a few good drags out of it. New task. Good. Smoker on the balcony. Good luck with the investigation. And he walks away. Wow, I failed everything with this guy. I didn't bum a cigarette. I didn't convince him to stay. Golly. Kim says he's gone. The lieutenant puts away his notebook and turns to you. We should run after him to see where he went. And Kim says no point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself. So we just give up, we can say. And he says he could be a witness, him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. There has to be a way of getting inside the building. Once we've found a way, we can ask around his apartment. Great, let's do that. And let's see. Chairs and tables eaten by rain and rock. Orange bum hat. Sweet. I got an orange bum hat. +1 to reaction speed, -1 to rhetoric. And what have I got right now? I've got on Dick Mullins' hat, +1 to encyclopedia. Without any negative effect. So we'll just keep on that hat for now. There's the greenhouse. There's the coat. Let's see, what's this? It's just a closed door, but you look at it suspiciously. Is it locked because of the time of day? Smoker on the balcony. Find a way inside the large apartment building to the north. Well, if I put a crowbar on, can I open this door? No. Well, it's white, which makes me think that it's closed. So I guess we'll have to come back. That appears to be it. For this little nook. We've got a few minutes before the debrief with Kim. Let's head north. See what's up here. Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, roundabout north. And then up here is Cape Side Apartments. What's this? There's a girl up there. Did she spill the paint? Oh. Inside the frame of a motorcycle in repair and the tools used to disassemble it. Can we shout at this lady?
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue d'Esperance. You wait and see.
The girl stares at the sailboat by the pier.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth? Blood type? The last time I was tested for Hep C?
Wow. 5 options. We just want to know your name, little lady. No need to get defensive. Don't use that tone with me. I'm the law. Or let's start with your blood type and go from there. Or Hep. Yeah, when were you last tested? Or just answer the questions, okay? Let's try number 1.
Go where? Accosting a minor?
Listen to your partner, pigman. Keep your grubby hooves off little old ladies.
Despite the attitude, she puts the brush aside. She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways. Okay. You keep looking up to the side, we can ask. Ooh, a boat. She nods disdainfully towards the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked next to the pier. Composure, which we pass, hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. Joyce Mézières, the woman on the boat, does not notice her staring. Cindy the Skull hisses. That ozone whore. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. Who is she, we can ask, and Kim says, probably the Wild Pines representative. We should talk to her. He nods in her direction. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions. You know, do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet. Cindy the Skull says, good idea, piggies. Run along now. Screw her crap up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to Ozone. What are you doing to the wall, we can ask? And she says, can't you tell I'm painting a beautiful mural? An aerograffito visible from low orbit. She studies the wall, suddenly pens it. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. So you don't know how to write, we can say? Or why are you so committed to defacing that wall? Let's start with words 1. And she says, have you ever tried your hand at graffito? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff like pigs go home or Mona was here. We rarely see pigs around here, though, just union cads, and my name's not Mona, so we pass an empathy check to learn that she wants it to be something true and total. Why are you so committed to defacing this building, we can ask, and she says, this place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire can break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation. Melina Richards in the chat says, I accidentally sprayed deodorant in my mouth. Now when I talk, I have this weird accent. I don't even know what to do with that one. I'm just angry. Thank you, Melina. You've made me angry. I have an opinion on this. Want to hear it, we can say? And she says, yeah? 3 options. I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing. Or 2, I'm going to have to stop you. This is hooliganism. Or 3, actually, I don't have an opinion. I lied. Frankly, I'm of the 3 opinion. I really don't care. But actually, the funny thing is, if we say keep doing what you're doing as a cop, that might pull the rug out from under her and she might get frustrated by that. Let's see what'll happen when that happens. She says, thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official Elysium stamp of approval. We pass an empathy check to learn we've lessened her desire to deface the building. I knew it. I knew it. The cop doesn't oppose her putting graffiti on the wall, and she's less inclined to do so. You know anything about the recent murder? We can ask. And she says, she wrinkles her nose. I ain't no snitch, Pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's crap. No shortage of squealers in these parts. Kim says, actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner. And Cindy the Skull says, we weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, Screw-o. Catch you later, Cindy. Watch your bet, ungulate. You've got eyes on you. Wow. A southwest entrance to the tenements. A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. We pass a visual calculus check to learn that this could be a way into the apartment building the smoking man vanished into. We can knock. The door rattles against our knuckles, but there is no response. We can knock again. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
Hold on, who am I speaking to?
It don't matter who I am. Now, go on, get out of there.
This is the police. Open the door.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
Please let me in. It's cold out here, but I'm not joking. Or I need to talk to a young man in this building.
No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
She trails off, leaving the sentence unfinished. We pass an interfacing check to learn backyard door. With the smoker, you already went there. Didn't work. Hey, you there? I've checked the backyard, but couldn't get in that way.
Good. We've had enough problems with bums and drunks and thieves loitering in the hallway. You have no business here.
We could try to pass an authority check to convince her that you're a real policeman. Oh, but we're actually wearing gear that... Aren't we wearing gear that decreases our authority? Let's leave for now. It was this, wasn't it? -2 to authority. Wow, yeah. We'll put that off for now. Anything else interfering with our authority? Okay, let's try again. Hey, that gives us an 83% chance. Fantastic. Let's convince her that we're a real policeman. Yeah. We pass our authority check. You're well versed in the kind of threatening legalese that implies criminal liability, but in fact has no meaning whatsoever. Ma'am, your non-compliance is hindering a police matter. I may be forced to refer you for potential prosecution.
I know my rights, and don't you ma'am me, boy.
The voice snaps back.
Miss, would it help if we offer to show you our badges?
Hold your horses.
We hear the click of a night latch before the lady on the other side gets caught in a coughing spasm.
I don't care about your stinking badge. Just come in.
She manages to say with a wheeze, all right. Backyard wall, conceptualization impossible. That's the new one that we found. Okay, so we got the key. Is it an actual key in our inventory? Doesn't look like that. Doesn't look that way. Okay, well, let's put our notebook back. And we've got 10 minutes before our debrief with Kim. So we should probably go do that first before we move on into the apartment. Looks like there was more construction here once decades ago. Take all. All right, more magnesium. Now, this is probably a really long conversation. Docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Gilles. There's the old lady. There's the boat. Let's save that for after our debrief with Kim. Go back to the whirling in rags. Let's try to pass that conceptualization check. Ooh, we've got another guy to talk to here. And something lying on the ground, which we haven't gotten yet. On the broken glass. I mean, we know that he threw his own boots. That's what happened. But maybe we can actually earn some experience by passing the check. These 10 minutes are going by really fast, or really slowly. I feel like it's been more than a couple of minutes. Does time only tick when I'm talking to people? Also, what happened to the strange lady that went into, I think it was this one? Nope. Nothing new. Why can't I go into my own apartment? My own... Oh. They locked it until I pay the bill. Ah, dang it. Okay, I've got 10 minutes until 2200. And time, for some reason, is deciding not to tick. Here I am on the balcony. Come on, can I talk to Kim? No.
Yes?
Oh, wait, here. We can say I have a confession to make. I am the murderer, but I don't really think I am. That's it. Right, I guess time doesn't pass unless we're in dialogue or something. Hell Evans says, Oxhorn, get the bag on the ground and to collect bottles. You can sell them at the store for a little money. Money is very hard to come by in this game. Yeah, I've discovered that so far. And I've wasted a lot of money already. I either need to get cigarettes or a copy of Grognak the Barbarian, whatever superhero is in this game, to pay off, to get Kuno on my side. Ooh, what's this? Nothing on the front page rings a bell. Strange. Oh, on the newspaper, I guess. No, down. Well, we've been walking around for 5 minutes and time hasn't gone by, so I'm thinking we have to be in dialogue, talking, for time to pass in this game. So I guess let's go talk to the lady on the yacht. Oh, let's loot the thing on the ground. You hear the distant squall of seabirds. Plastic bag freaked. Equip this to collect tear from the streets. Oh. Will I be able to... Oh, I see. Cool. The things I've seen and said, he says. A splatter of bullet holes lines the wall. Esprit de corps. The sight of bullet holes stirs something in you, making you forget the lieutenant's surname. We can look closer first. The fading marks are too degraded to draw any forensic conclusions. Just chips in the sandstone. Kim, look. Bullet holes. Where? He looks around. We can point to the chips in the wall. Someone has been shot. We're cops. We should solve it. And Kim says, there, and he looks at the wall. Those are old. Oh, you mean like from the Revolution, we can say? And he says, yes, the one that happened half a century ago. He blinks. Those bullets were fired during the Revolution and do not warrant an investigation by officers of civil law. Okay, what can you tell me about this revolution, we can say? And Kim says, not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Shall we go? And we get some experience. Rachel says, I believe they said reading will pass time quickly. Well, 3 minutes has already gone by in the space of time that it took me just to walk over here. Oh, look at all of this. With the bag equipped, I see I can loot a ton of junk. Oh, that's so cool. I wonder if I can I sell it all for money? Listen, boy, hey, I don't start trouble, I fix it. Well, great, now I'm going to have to revisit all of the places I've been to loot more. Loot, loot, loot. I like to loot. Another spattering of bullet holes on this wall. Pain threshold. The spread pattern of these bullet holes makes your chest ache. Your breath grows heavier. We can examine closer. You peer into the faded marks on the stone. They peer back like an endless row of tiny black holes. Sweat starts trickling down your brow. Horrific necktie chimes in. This is bad mojo, man. Horrible mojo. The end draws near. It damaged. I lost health by looking at bullet holes. Your chest feels tight looking at them. It's closing in, caving in, ever tighter. Your breathing grows even heavier. You okay there, says Kim. Kitsuragi's sudden voice cuts like a blade, bringing you out of the stupor. We can breathe out sharply. Yeah, I'm fine. You were looking pale there for a second. What are you looking at? These bullet holes look like the bullet holes we saw before. And we gain experience. Bullet holes generally look the same, so probably. He leans in to inspect the wall, but you're right. More old bullet holes from the Revolution. Man, how many people got shot during the Revolution, we can ask, and he says, plenty. Well, with only 1 hit point left, let's use some health. Alright, that's it for scrap down here. We've got 4 minutes until 10 o'clock. Let's loot a bit. Let's get a bit more loot before we move on. Now, to whom do we sell all of this stuff? Where's all this stuff stored? I don't see it in my inventory. Your room in the Whirling isn't much bigger than this sloop. If I talk to her, it's going to start a really long conversation. Let's loot a bit more, and then have an end-of-day debrief. Hello. Tire tracks leading onto the roof. The slush and rain have almost washed them off. An ancient fountain. It doesn't pump water anymore. There's a tree in it. Some great tectonic forces cracked the pavement like an eggshell. Maybe a sea monster did this to the plaza. The damage looks like it could have been caused by an earthquake. The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting. Kim says, The lieutenant looks down the street. We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go. Tutorial agent. You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when the Lieutenant Kitsuragi is gone. Oh, and then we're back at the lieutenant's car. Okay, anything else over here? You can sell the bottles at the store east of Whirling and Rags, says Heleven. All right. Healing item gained. What's this? Roy's Pawn Shop. Fast cash for fast times. Oh, the Fallout player in me is really loving this. Hey, fingerless gloves. Oh, I can use those. That's +1 to electrochemistry. I can use those on the barbell, can't I? +1 to interfacing, +1 to electrochemistry. I probably need interfacing right now. Water lock out of order until Wednesday, 7:15 a.m. Man on waterlock. Evening, officers. A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them. We pass a physical instrument check to learn that his posture is relaxed. Despite his powerful build and the knife in his hand, this man resorts to physical intimidation only infrequently, if at all. Well, first things first, what are you doing here, man on the waterlock? Oh. And he says, my friend Barry the butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating the salami. From the corner of our eye, we see a man in yellow shirt and gray overalls waving at you from across the canal. He seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami. The man on the waterlock picks the skin off a slice of salami and takes a sizable bite. Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officers? Do you know what caused this wreckage? And we point at the smashed billboard at the canal. I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol. The word daredevil driver sounds ominous to you. Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off until then. Do you know what's further down the coast? Well, there's a fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. He thinks for a moment. Yeah, not really much else, just bombed out ruins. Can I have some of that salami? We can point at the food. Sure thing. He cuts off a slice of salami and we get healed health. All right. Want some too, officer? And he turns to the lieutenant and Kim says, the lieutenant ponders the offer for a moment, then decides to go for it. Why not? He takes a slice of salami from the man and chews on it. Right, bye, we can say, and we leave. Oh, nice guy. What's this? Water lock control panel. A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. We pass a visual calculus check to learn that this panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed Samaritan Butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. We can try anyway. You pull against the lever all the way up until the metal clinks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens. Breakthrough imminent. Oh, that's right. We were contemplating this. We can push it harder. Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in from the sea interrupts the silence of the situation. Kim says, The lieutenant hums to himself while staring at your activities. Now we can release the lever. Waterlock controls. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get access to the canal some other way. We pass a perception check to learn, wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning? Okay. Thought complete. White morning. And the little guy gets smaller and smaller as you rise above the dollhouse world. You see him out in the snow, on the streets, in the shop on the corner, and finally in a matchbox house. Sitting by the window, white flowers on the windowsill. You can smell them from up here. It's awful. A white mourning, a modern death, divorce, or something similar. All you can do is put more distance between you and him. Make him smaller. Make him less you. We gain plus 20% zoom out distance, and all Motorix learning caps are raised by 1. We can accept it. All right, looks like there's nothing left to internalize that we've unlocked, but there's quite a lot that we have yet to unlock. All right, we got to wait till Wednesday because this is Monday, but it's now past 10. So let's go back to the balcony at the Whirling and Rags and have our scheduled chat with our good friend Kim. Or John. Huh. Did we take that out of his hand, or was it lying on the ground? All right, we're on the balcony, and it's 10 o'clock.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
I haven't paid the cafeteria manager for damages yet. You should take care of that, says Kim, but I don't have the money. Let's talk to him anyway. An officer of the RCM shouldn't be sleeping out in the streets. We'll figure something out. We pass an empathy check to learn, though he finds this situation frustrating, he's doing his best to not make you feel any worse than you already do. Okay, why is this bouncing up and down now? Because of the gloves I got, electrochemistry. Pay for damages. Ask your station for additional funds. Try negotiating with the cafeteria manager. Okay, let's try negotiating, and then maybe electrochemistry will help with my negotiations. If that doesn't work, we can go ask for funds. -1 to rhetoric. -1 to suggestion. Alright, well, let's talk to him.
Can I help you?
So about the money I owe. Yes, have you got it? I was wondering if we could come to some arrangement for tonight, we can say. And he says, does that arrangement include you paying me what we already agreed you owe me? I'll pay it back tomorrow. I'm an honest cop. It's cold out. I'll freeze to death because I'm losing the stupid money game. Or come on, man, after everything I've been through. Kim is about to say something. Let him. Let's let Kim talk. He adjusts his glasses. I understand your predicament as manager. However, I feel I must remind you that we are here to conduct an important investigation that also affects your business. Gart says, forgive me for saying this, but your colleague seems more committed to drinking, and he stops mid-sentence. We pass an authority check. He shrinks back a bit under the lieutenant's severe gaze. I mean, no offense, it's really nothing personal. I just have to protect the interests of this establishment. Hold on, I still have my key, you know, we can say. And he says, good luck trying to use it. He taps his foot against the metal box installed in the back of the counter. Draconian measures, we learn by passing an interfacing check. All the locks have an electronic component. They have to be unlocked down here with a master key before your guest key will open the lock. I'll find a way in. I'll break the door down. Wonderful. Try to do that, and I'll have to call you an ambulance. This conversation isn't going anywhere, not until you bring me the money. Okay, says Kim. He turns to you with a heavy sigh. I might have something in my motor carriage we can use when you're done here. We pass a spirit to core check. I really didn't want to resort to this, the man is thinking. Great, he's going to give me money. Well, I couldn't negotiate with him. Kim has offered to help go to his motor carriage in front of the whirling. Well, he's not answering any other questions. Let's go to the balcony, see if that's disconnected from this.
Yes?
That's it. I've gone through everything except for confessing to the murder. Well, I guess I don't understand that. Let's go back to his car. First, let's try to call the station. Then, if that fails, maybe we can bum some money off Kim. I have something here we could sell. Look in the back in the suspect transport enclosure. We pass a reaction speed check, transport enclosure. Regular people just call it the cage. Well, we can look in the suspect transport enclosure. The cage at the back of the motor carriage looks rather uncomfortable. 4 shiny hubcaps are stacked against the seat. Their silver edges sparkle in the dark. I confiscated these four a little while back. We can take them to the pawn shop down by the Martinez Canal. What are those things, we can ask? And he says, they're spitter hubcaps, frivolous things you put on your wheels. When the wheels come to a stop, he makes a spinning motion with his hands. The caps keep on spinning. There's no real use for them. It's just for vanity. We pass a suggestion check to learn a vanity he wouldn't mind. What do you mean you confiscated them, we can say? And he says, a couple weeks ago, I stopped a young man from going slower than the speed of traffic. Turns out he was some coalition officer's son. And high. We can, so you took his spinners, we can say, and he says, mm-hmm, and he nods. I took them and arrested him for driving under the influence. We can look at Kim. Isn't that corruption? We can say, and he says, I don't know, is it? The lieutenant looks back, stone-faced. I was going to take them into evidence, but they weren't necessary for conviction. I never asked for them back. Mylar says, you've got a friend in me, you've got a friend in me. When the road seems rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, just remember what your old pal said. You've got a friend in me. Thanks, Woody. All right, we've got some good tips from Randy Newman there. Did you want to put these spinners on your machine and we can point the kinema? And he says, no, that would be silly. And he hesitates. I don't know why I kept them. It doesn't matter. I couldn't put them on this MC anyway. A cop with spinners? That would be outrageous. Yes, outrageously cool, we can say. And he flashes a smile, barely visible in the dark. I'm sorry you have to sell them because of me, we can say. It's only right that we sell them, or we can say nothing. You say, I'm sorry we have to sell them. As I said, he says, they're useless anyway. I should have remembered I have these earlier. Esprit de corps, but thank you, is what he would have said to complete them. You said something about a pawn shop, we can say, and he says, yes, there's one 100 meters south of here. I think it's called Roy's Nest or something. If I'm not mistaken, it should be open late. Items that can be pawned at the Bird's Nest Roy's appear in your inventory under the Items tab. You can pawn these items when talking with Roy. Well, sorry I can't take them. It wouldn't be right, we can say. And he says, all right, let's not take them now, then come back once we realize we have to. And have this conversation again and then take them. Gotcha. So we may have to come back. We can tap on the fuel gauge heater. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat. Now, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they're mesmerizing, but they're also fragile. I'm not going to turn it on again for you. Well, let's pick up the radio. Let's reconnect to the 41st. 10-4, come in. He hesitates. Firewalker? Over. I lost my gun. I'm in dire need of financial assistance. 10-4, I hear you. I don't have the authority to grant your request, but... And then Jean Vicimere pipes in. What does he want now? He's asking for money. Is he kidding? I don't think he is. Don't give that jerk anything. He's just going to drink it all. We gain 5 experience. All right. The operator turns back to you. That's a negative on the additional funds, sir. It is paramount to the investigation that you grant me more money. He says that it's important to the case. He isn't getting a red cent. You can tell him that. Request denied, sir. Over. Nothing is working. Well, please, I'm begging you. He says he's in trouble. He doesn't have a place to sleep. Well, I guess you better crack the case before sundown then. Vicimere said. Suggestion. We learn who cares what the Vicimere said. Pull on the heartstrings. We passed an authority check. Enough, officer. This begging is below your dignity. We can say, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home. Please come and get me. We can't say that as a cop. Okay, I hear you. No funds. Anything else, sir? Well, we already told him that we lost our gun. This might sound odd, but there's personal details I'd like to discuss. And he says, okay, 10-4, sir, I hear you. Relay your question over. We pass a rhetoric check. Wait, before you say anything stupid, think about it. What's there to think about? I need information, not fear, we can say. You're going to be looking at a straitjacket if you tell everyone you lost your memory. Be smart about this. Ask if he's there alone. Jules says, 10-4, sir, I'm not hearing your question. The radio operator inquires again. Hold on, are you alone in the room? I need some confidential information about myself. I wanted to know if you got my badge's description right in your report. Could you read it to me? Name, rank, date of birth. Okay, let's ask about if he's alone. And he says, that's a negative, sir. I got 10-12 here. Over. Well, we might get in trouble by asking all of these questions. We can ask him to repeat our name, rank, date of birth. We can ask him to give us our address. We could say, please refer to me with my full name in the future. And he says, 10-9, repeat message. I didn't get that, sir. Over. Stop calling me sir and just use my real name, will you? And he goes, What? What is it? What can he possibly still want from us? He seems intoxicated and keeps asking me to call him by his name. Mullen's drunk and emotionally aggressive. That's new. So my name's Mullen. Wrap it up. Don't indulge his drunken antics. I'm not drunk. It's been all day without a drink. Well, we should probably wrap this up without getting in trouble. That's all for now. Okay. 18 kilometers to the south on the 41st Precinct's relay booth, a small crowd is gathered around Communication Officer Jules Oldboy Pidew, around a dozen cops. The small room is filled with cigarette smoke, abuzz with laughter, when Officer Judith Minot enters. Her left arm is in bandages and hair trimmed short. What's going on here? Did something happen? She asks, startled. Jean Vicamere turns to her and says, what happened is my partner made contact, and it's not good. He's lost his badge. He seemed confused, delirious even. He stops to reflect. Mac the Torso Torson is finger something his fist, laughing hoarsely and apparently telling some dirty jokes to his partner, Chester McLean, near the entrance. Suddenly he interjects. Yeah, Mullen was screwed up all right. Sounded drunk to me. Chester says the tall ginger on his right still has tears of laughter in his eyes. Yeah, Mac's right. This was some gnarly crap there. I mean, before he started begging for money, it was. Satellite Officer Vicamere bites down on his knuckles. Enough! He shouts across the room. The commotion dies down. All eyes turn to him. None of this is funny. It's sad. It's what it is. He's a cop. He's one of us, doggone it. Mino looks down at her neatly polished black shoes. There's a quiet firmness to her voice when she speaks. We must help him. Yeah? How do you plan to do that, huh? Get him off the drink? Go jogging with him in the morning and get him on carrot juice? He's a lost man. I just know we can't give up on him when he's at his weakest. He wouldn't. The crowd in the room has started fidgeting uncomfortably. Someone's trying to slip out unnoticed. Mac, man the door. He gestures Torson to block the doorway, then turns to Minot. You know what he told me? I don't want to get better. I want to get worse. Those were his words. He sighs heavily and turns to address the room. This crap does not leave this room. Not a word of this to the captain or anyone else. We'll give him a couple of days to pull his crap together. Jules says Old Boy lights another cigarette and says, I guess I can hold off on the report for a few days. Jean says, good. Vicamere turns to the others. Okay, everybody, nothing but a prank call here. We all got our laughs. Now get back to work. And we gain 5 experience. Esprit de corps. Far north. On the other side of the motorway, the officer quietly hunches with his hands in the motor carriage. Ooh, well, okay. Close the door. Now, I do have that rifle. I wonder if I can go to the pawn shop and pawn that rifle I found. Will that give me enough money without having to pawn Kim's spinners? Out, wrong way. The spirited chirps and clicks of swallows fill the air. That's nice. Move it. Oh my gosh. There. That's the pawn shop, right? Okay. Some kind of machine, an antique cash register. Welcome to the pawn shop, says the patron. A bust of a woman, the plaque simply says DEI. Welcome to the pawn shop, says the guy again. In the dark, a film projector is whirling away. Welcome to the pawn shop, the guy says yet again, mostly military wear, with a few more eccentric fashions thrown in. Sawed-off street light. A typical Martinez street light sits amongst assorted floor and table lamps. We can let our gaze run over the street light. The light pole has been carefully cut and the wiring has been redone and attached to a standard indoor plug. The light buzzes faintly but persistently. Is that a street light, we can ask? Yes, officer. As you can see, it's in perfect working order. Where did you get this, we can ask? It was brought to me altered. It was brought to me to be altered, says Bird's Nest Roy. Kim leans in so the pawnbroker wouldn't hear him. We are not here to investigate the theft of city property. He pauses, studying the light, then adds, you have to admit, it's rather clever what he's done with it. How much for the streetlight, we can ask? 700 real. A bargain, I dare say. We pass a half-light check to learn a bargain? No, it's not. He's trying to sweet-talk you into buying trash. Are you out of your mind? There's one just like it on every street corner. And he says that he rests his elbows on the counter and brings his face closer to the glass. The light has undergone 3 transformations, and every transformation, large or small, has a price tag. What do you mean transformations, we can ask? And he says he throws a look of weary patience. Well, there are the costs of removal and wiring, but the most important transformation is the light's replacement among ordinary indoor fixtures, which has adjusted its morphological field. The light became suitable for use inside the home just a few days ago. Well, we can buy it for 700 real. But that's it. I don't want to spend that kind of money on it. 700 real is a lot. So let's take a look at this bookshelf. Filled with figurines, it looks like. It's a knick-knack stand. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. We pass an Inland Empire check to try to find something pretty and cool here. Then use it to win her back. Win her back, we can ask. Yes, buy something nice, a figurine. We can inspect the knight on horseback. Big men on big horses clad in lamellar armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye. We can point at the knights on horseback. Who are they, we can ask, and Kim says, Franco-Nigerian knights. He looks at the dusty figurines in the dim light. I used to be very serious about these guys. Spirited Corps a long time ago. We can inspect the blue uniforms. They are not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets. We can point at the blue figurines. Are these royalist soldiers? Which ones? Says Blue Nest Roy. The man peers from his glass box. Ah, those. Yes, they are. I find the paint job a bit gaudy, but children like bright colors indiscriminately. We can inspect the figurines and rags. This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks. We can point to the figurines and rags. Are those even soldiers? And Bird Nest Roy says, you're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? The man behind the glass answers, yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't look like they could possibly win. Well, we find 4 options. It's meant to give people hope even we can do it. 2, the contrast is meant to be disheartening as it ought to be. 3, it is impossible to win against the cohorts of capital. Ask my friend Gart, whose jerk it made me. Or I wish it was more nuanced. As it stands, I can't comment. Let's try number 1. Hope. Maybe, says Bernard Roy. We pass an Inland Empire check. He seems to have his own take on the conflict, played out in perpetuity by these toys. Maybe I might find it interesting to find out what it is. Okay, we can try to go through again. The contrast is meant to be disheartening, as it ought to be. And he says, I don't like either set very much, to be honest, but there are many parents among my customers. We passed an Inland Empire check to learn he seems to have his own take on it. Okay, so it's the same thing. We didn't get that take. So let's try talking about Gart. And he says, okay, he doesn't bat an eye. I don't like either set too much, to be honest. All right, we're not learning anything. So let's try again for the final one, which is simply not really having a comment. And he says, I don't like either one. That's it. All right, well, we didn't learn anything from that. And we inspected every option. So instead, we can pass an interfacing check, which is an 83% to say, dig up truly cool figurine in the box under the table. And we got it. Wow, what's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say, Fawn. What is this? And we can show it to the shopkeep. Oh, that's the headless fawn rider. Who? We can say, the headless fawn rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. As you can see, he's missing his head. He points to the decapitated figurine. 50 cents, bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap, too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations. We can purchase it for 50 real. Okay, let's do it. Did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you. And he grins. We pass a suggestion check. That was a very smooth salesman grin that almost comes off as earnest. You should learn from him. We can step away from the table. All right, what'd we get? We got a figurine. Headless fawn rider. Can we place it anywhere? Now, did we actually get luck? No, it doesn't say anything. Maybe it'll come in handy later. Well, we've spent money. We haven't actually earned anything. Shelf of boom boxes. The boom boxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with unblinking eyes of their tape reels. We can stand on the tips of our toes to see more. One especially catches our eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. We pass an interfacing check to learn. Just make sure it works before you buy it. Shopkeep. This Stereo 8 approved machine is here. And he says, it's the Harman Waushi W02, made in Vesper, designed in Seoul. He says, plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. I'll sell it. It'll set you back 12 real. Well, we don't have the money. Oh, but we can equip this to play tapes. Ooh. What I really want to know is, could this device come in handy for my police work? If police work means playing tapes, sure, you could use it for that, or any other time you need to play a tape. We pass an Inland Empire check, like at the beach party, with sand and sun and seagulls dancing in the breeze. Turn to Kim. Theoretically, could I bring it to a beach party? And Kim says, theoretically, yes, but we don't have the time right now. It's generally murder investigation first, then beach party. Okay, Kim, I'll just rock out with the pawn shop owner. And Bird Nest Roy says, I don't like beaches. They accumulate too many photons. It's always chaos out there. But live your life, man. You can use it at a beach party if you want. Are you sure this is all in working order, we can ask? And he says, absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech, found sounds, and music from a variety of genres. Even though, and he grimaces, I don't really like music. But we can't buy it, so that's it for that. Now let's try to sell him the rifle.
It's not often that I see officers of the RCM in my pawn shop.
The man at the counter turns to us slowly.
What can I do for you?
We pass an empathy check to learn. His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the wall of the shop. Sorry, and we can say I feel like I'm interrupting you.
Oh no, not at all. I guess I haven't had many customers lately, RCM or otherwise.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
Well, we can nod and say quite the collection indeed. Actually, let's see. We can look around typical Vacus consumerist objects. Honestly, I think some of your selections are, and we press our fingers to our lips, more tasteful than others. This business plan is all over the place. You should specialize, zoom in, recapitalize. In a pawn shop? None of those are good. So we'll just do number one.
It keeps me entertained.
His attention is drawn once more to the play of light and shadow on the walls behind us. We pass an electrochemistry check to learn entertained. He might be high. If he is, on what? We can pass an electrochemistry check to say is Roy high, and if yes, on what? Got it. 1 second. Need to take this. Sorry about that. Trying to juggle a lot over here in the Oxhorn household, trying to take care of a myriad of things, and I'm the only one here. All right, we passed an electrochemistry check, feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on pyroholdon. It's tough to come by on the street. Pyroholdion? What's that? A drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow. 3 options. Is it just me, or is it really warm in here? We can look around. Step closer. Sir, could I take off your sunglasses? I'd like to check your eyes. Or we can get straight to the point. Sir, where does a man get pyroholdion these days? Let's ask around. Let's talk about it being warm first. And he says he tilts his head. I try to keep a shop at a comfortable temperature. There's a note of indignation in his voice. Interesting. Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket. Let's point at the clothes and say, what's the triangles on your vest? He hesitates. I was with the Emergency Relief Brigade. You know, after the People's Pile disaster. He coughs as if to mark his words. Had to take Purholdian for radiation sickness. That's what you were hinting at just now, wasn't it? We can pass a pain threshold check to learn that he's taking it from mental and emotional, not physical pain these days. The People's Pile, what's that, we can ask? And he says it's a bad idea. Some poor leftists built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to underserved communities. It malfunctioned. Radioactive waste everywhere, probably some of it in you too. Tell me more about this Emergency Relief Brigade you were part of. He points at the white triangle on his orange safety jacket. We were an all-volunteer force. Self-organized. Tried to help fire brigades contain the spill. I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The Esperants didn't have the heart to let it all go to crap without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud, years getting sick. He looks at the spiraling light and stops. It must have been tough radioactive cleanup. He hesitates. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of it ever happened and why no one has tried to repair or replace the pile. So much disappointment and early deaths, cancer mostly, and we knew all of that was coming even as we were cleaning up as best as we could. Whose fault was it that the generator failed? No one's, everyone's. He sighs and shakes his head. So much bitterness we learn by passing an empathy check. A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor hoping for the best. What do you think is going to happen? How did you end up running a pawn shop, we can ask? And he says the cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young then. Later, my second aunt died, left me this shack and the assorted junk in it. So I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there, it's a crap hole. I said, people, we just had a nuclear pile meltdown. I'm going to get as far away from Faubourg as I can. Still in the same city, but... And he shrugs. Well, thank you for telling me, we can say. And we gain 5 experience. He shrugs. I like theory more than story. Outward movement, not vortices. We pass... electrochemistry tells us, yeah, you gotta get in those vortices, my man. Oh, we can ask him to share his radiation drug with us. Really? All right, let's try it. Have you tried it before, he says? We pass a suggestion check. It's almost like he's worried for you. And then Kim, he says the lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved. We pass a spirited core check. Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care. I think I've tried it once, we can say, and liked it, or I haven't, but don't worry, I can take it, or I've tried the Puro. I ride the Puro every day. Well, I don't even know the answer to this question. So let's try... Well, let's try number 2. I haven't tried it, but don't worry, I can take it. And he says, if you say so, here you go, man. He presents a large cap-shaped object in the palm of his hand. Very odd-looking. We pass an electrochemistry check. Yes, darling. That's the coalition government-ordained pyrroloid rim. Let me get this right. Pyrrholidon. Pyrrholidon. Straight into your gut. Do we take it? Let's take it. Thanks, man. Item gained. Pyrrholidon. And we gain a skill point and we level up. He looks down. Of course. By the way, do you happen to have any guns like the ones carried by officers of the Citizens Militia? Someone else came in here earlier today asking the same question, he says. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple of days back. I came in here to pawn my gun. What? Sold? We learned with a half-life check. The lieutenant shifts from 1 feet to the other. Wait, I sold you my gun, we can say. And he says, you were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. He hesitates. Said you were undeserving of a serviced weapon of the Revocable Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind. We pass an empathy check to learn he's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you. I feel like there's something you're not telling me, we can say. And he looks away. You weren't quite yourself, officer. What was I like? You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you couldn't trust yourself with it tonight. And you needed the money. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it. We pass a pain threshold check to learn you sucked on a gun. Good. Very normal. Wait, how much did I sell the gun for, we can ask? 15 real, he says. The lieutenant looks from you to Roy and then back at you. It's clear that he hopes this tableau might still turn out to be a bad dream. It's not, though. We pass an esprit de corps check to say this has got to be the most. Wow. We pass an empathy check. There's pity there, too, in case you didn't notice. So, Kim is ashamed of us, and also he pities us. We came and pawned our gun. Holy cow. Happens to the best of us, I guess we can say. Just pawning our guns. Or I really should have killed myself. Maybe I still will one of these days. Or so sorry you had to see me in that state. We don't have to talk about it any further. Let's apologize. And he says, no apologies necessary, officer. Was the buyer a policeman too, we can ask? And he says she didn't seem like a policeman, though she kept referring to herself as a pig. Which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, and I was just happy to get rid of it. And of her. There was that one girl with the paint can who kept referring to us as pig. Also, that child in the courtyard kept calling us pig. Truth be told, she was terrifying. Kim says, right, so let me get this straight. The lieutenant turns to you. You sold your sidearm, issued by the Citizens Militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? We pass an empathy check. Miraculously, his face does not reveal what's happening inside. Oh, no, we can do a superstar check. Maybe she's a vigilante, wants to prove she can do our jobs better than we can. I don't like it either. What if she intends to commit a crime and blame it on the Citizens Militia? I'm sorry I sold my gun. Or, there's only one explanation. She must be one of my rabid fans. In that case, says Kim, she'll be happy to get a visit from us if we can find her. He looks around worried. Any idea where I can find this buyer, we can ask. And Birdnest Roy apologizes. Sorry, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went. We've got a logic which we pass, a needle in a haystack. There's nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow. At least I know how I lost my sidearm, we can say. Let's talk about something else. And we gain 5 experience. You might be able to aid in our investigation, we can say. I doubt it, says Birdnest Roy, but I can try to answer any questions you may have. Know anything about the recent hanging? We can ask, and he says, I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone. We pass a half-light check. No one likes to see what you have to see every day. Actually, that's all I got, we can say. Well, there's something I'd like to sell, we can say. Let me have a look, he says. We can say, I'd like to sell my clothes, but those give me stat bonuses, so I don't really want to sell them. I'll check my pockets and we can access our pawn menu. This is everything we can pawn. Great. The lieutenant's handkerchief, the postcard, the green pen, the figurine, the gun. $350, that's it. Let's pawn it. Postcard. 1 real. Let's pawn it. A shot put ball. You feel like you should hold on to this and make good use of it. To sell such a beautiful old school sports equipment would be a sin. Really? All right, I guess I'll hold on to it. But I get $4.50 from it. Then there's an ampule of ammonia. This is a quest item. You don't have to equip it to use it. Okay. A green pen. I actually used this one in a dialogue check earlier, so I'll keep it. Here's a postcard. Might as well get some money from it. Did we sell the handkerchief? It's a snot-covered handkerchief. It's 90 real. Let's get rid of it. I probably don't need it. Then we've got the headless. We just bought this from the pawn shop. So I'm not going to sell it. Then there's this. Filament memory. We get 10 real from this. I feel like we're going to need this later. So let's close. Let's take a look at our clothes. I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment. He looks you up and down quickly. Suddenly his gaze fixes on your tie. He steps back from the glass, and especially that tie. It swallows photons around it. I have no need for necrotic objects. The horrific necktie says, your mother is a necrotic object. I'm fun. Look at me sparkle in the light of the projector. And that's it. All right. I think we've done it all. Let's see. Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your capo type, says suggestion. Wait, there are capo types? Yes, guess what yours is? Cool cop? Some kind of weapon cop? Sorry cop? I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Was kind of hoping I'm the superstar cop. That is only a ludicrous daydream. Guess again, you're the cool cop? No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we? We pass an empathy check. Huge lack of enthusiasm going on here. Won't the other capo types be jealous? I'm sorry. Opt in. You know, I'm actually not sorry. I changed my mind. Hey, they should be sorry. Let's do they should be sorry. Yes, yes, impotent rage and lamentation. Let's wrap it up. You know, I'm not that sorry. No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance. No, I'm really not sorry. Or wait, let's see. The other capo types won't be jealous? What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry. No, I'm really not sorry. Wow, okay. Screw off. Maybe we were wrong about you then. Half-light. Check out the big balls on fire cop. I don't want to be the sorry cop. Sorry. Well, sorry. I don't want to be the sorry cop. Maybe I am the sorry cop. Well, let's see if we have enough money to pay off our bill. And I could level up. I could level up physical instrument again. I only have 1 in intellect. God knows what I'm missing there. Endurance Encyclopedia, Electrochemistry, Physical Instrument, Physical Instrument. We've got more physical instrument checks. Is there any that I can do? Logic and visual calculus. And savoir-faire. You know what? I've already put so much into physical instrument, I might as well go all the way. How high can this go? Physique base +4. I've put 2 into interfacing. Bonus from items, -2. Let's do it. Alright, I can try the barbell again.
Can I help you?
So, about the money I owe. How much do I owe again? A lot? 130 real? Oh, man, I don't have that much. Oh, we can try to pass another check. It's cold on. I'll freeze to death because I'm losing the stupid money game. Game? Everything is just a game to you, isn't it? And we just go through the entire thing again.
Can I help you?
Wow, looks like we've really got to go sell those spinning wheels. Bummer. All right, let's get them. Kevin shared my stream to his timeline on Facebook. Thank you, Kevin. Where were they? There we go. Take the spinners. Here we go. Okay, so let's see what they look like. There they are. Price 200. Ooh, it's going to give me more than I need. A sewer grate, a gateway to the river of filth. Nice. All right, let's pawn the spinners.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
I wanted to ask you about my missing gun again. And I don't have anything else to say. Something else I'd like to sell. Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners appear iridescent in the dancing light of his pawn shop. He marvels at the cobalt shimmer and nods, yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince for them? Jump a mesk banger? What? No matter, I'll give you 200 real. No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you, the lieutenant explains as the pawnbroker opens the register and counts the cash. Of course, I meant no offense. 200 real for you, officer. Delightful doing business with you. Do come again. Thank you, says Kim. He takes the cash, then turns to you. Here's the 130 you need for your bill. Do not waste it. The rest goes in his pocket. The windfall is a small consolation. We learn from an empathy check. Anything else? And that's it. Okay, let's go pay our bill. Well, I thought we would get more from that rifle than we did. But no, I guess spinners for cars are worth more than a rifle.
Can I help you?
I have your money. He glares at you suspiciously. Well, here's the 130 real. We can slam the bills down on the counter. I hope you choke on it. Here it is. Sorry for the trouble. Look, this game is trying to turn me into the sorry cop, so I'm going to stop saying sorry. Great, thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow. Oh, no. He's not sorry about his behavior for your sake. Now that you have money, he really wants to make sure you're not angry with him. He takes out his keychain and fiddles with the mechanism behind the counter. The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 2100 tomorrow. New task, find money for rent and pay Gart. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night? What? He opens his wallet. I'll take a room here too. Of course, he takes the money and hands him a key ring. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you? And that's it. How am I going to come up with 20 real a night? Wolf Dragon Tamer says, hello, Oxhorn and chat. I had to take my truck in to be fixed again. Busted a ball joint behind front driver's tire. Why is everything going bad one right after another? Oh man, rotten luck, but you know what? It seems to be the way with cars and trucks. Happens to me like that all the time. One thing goes wrong, everything begins to go wrong.
Yes?
That's it. Okay, no further chat. That's weird. This is the door to the room you redecorated. Good night, Lieutenant, we can
Just
say.
a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe. And besides, we should discuss our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
All right, let's go. The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum, then...
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM?
He lights a cigarette. I didn't know you smoked, Kim. I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual. We pass an electrochemistry check. Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette. How'd you get so cool, Kim, we can say. The light of his cigarette illuminates a fleeting smile. You mean this? He flicks the ash. This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will, and unhealthy. We pass a volition check. Keeping the habit within the parameters he's giving himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit. I think I might want to take up smoking. Do you have any more cigarettes we can ask? I apologize, says Kim, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes. Right on to the debrief. He pulls on the cigarette. Yes, it's been a long and eventful day. It has. A day for us that's taken 3 streams. How do you think today went? We can ask. And he says, well, you were so hungover that you couldn't keep it down when we approached the hangman. So we didn't even inspect the body. But we performed a thorough search of the premises of the crime scene, so that's great. We passed an empathy check. Though you really dropped the ball on inspecting the body, he doesn't want you to feel too discouraged. Probably out of fear that you'll just give up and keep drinking. Hey, Edward on Facebook has shared my stream. Thank you, Edward. We have 4 options. Don't worry, Kim. I'll totally be up for inspecting the body tomorrow. Or I generally prefer to start with searching the scene and then move on to dealing with the dead bodies. Or I'm sorry I couldn't do more today. I'm just not a very good cop, am I? Say nothing and look at the city. Let's do that. As for the interviews, says Kim, we weren't able to find the union leader, Everard Clare, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow. We didn't talk to the Wild Pines rep. We really must do that tomorrow. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that standard for Precinct 41 practice? We passed an electrochemistry check. I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. If you just wait until we get up tomorrow, we can say, yes, it's part of the Jamrock Shuffle, or I don't like to waste time, you know. My mind moves fast. The rest has to keep up somehow. Or I'm training for a long-distance run. I want to raise money for charity. Or, yeah, that's just how we roll in Precinct 41. Or I don't know why I do the things I do, Lieutenant Kitsuguri. Let's do the Jamrock Shuffle. He nods thoughtfully, tapping his finger on his cigarette. It's impressive, especially for a man of your age and in those heels. He looks at your snakeskin shoes and smiles suddenly. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. It goes with the orange. So what are our powers exactly, the RCM? They're quite limited, he says. Actually, the power officers of the Revocable Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. 1,000, why not more? The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We're not really supposed to play any part in the economic restructure of Revocable. Wouldn't that be an easy power to abuse, we can ask? And Kim says yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. He frowns. It undermines trust in the RCM. Okay, what else we can say? And he says we can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. Wait, we can say, how can you be sure the arrestee will show up? And Kim says you can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they eventually are caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up. We pass an authority check. When power calls you, you come. But power itself is a fragile trick of perception. I see. And if someone resists? As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to use that power. Wait, so if I kill someone on duty, we can say, and he says you have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It's hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best. Well, what happens to the people we convict, we can say? We don't convict, he says. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Kuron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them. He taps on his coat pocket where he keeps his notes. And who makes all these rolls, we can continue? The coalition government and moral intern, more broadly, says Kim. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. His gaze is absently fixed on a window below that just went dark. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revocable or the coalition government founded the RCM. Let's say it was the citizens of Revocable, we can say. And he says, be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern releases us the right to keep the peace in the city, and they will take it away if we misuse it. The moral intern, we can ask. What is it? The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. He pulls on his cigarette. You know who they are. They run this place after the revolution failed. If I didn't know, how would you describe them? We can ask. And he says they're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, the EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world. What do they believe in, we can ask? And he says, what do they believe in? They are DeLoreans. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Dei 4 centuries ago. Others say they're just technocrats. What is their symbol, we can ask? Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that. Something ominous, says Inland Empire. Something even a little feminine, but in a strict manner, says Electrochemistry. Who was Dolores Dei, we can ask? A historical figure, the author of the modern age? He thinks. You'll have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me. Well, what do you think of them, we can ask? The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change, and he looks at the city below. It doesn't look like that's about to happen. It's more than that. There's some kind of affection in him. You like the moral intern, we can say? Yes, says Kim. I did when I was younger. In my 20s, I considered myself a moralist, a blue forget-me-not, a piece of the sky, he quotes. They're not all that bad. But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe now. He thinks, then changes his mind. No, I believe in the RCM. That's enough for me. I have an opinion on the moral intern, we can say. Do you, says the lieutenant. He arches his brow, then pulls on his cigarette. It's a slim white thing in his fingers. We have 5 options. Things are bad out there. We point to the city. We need them here, giving us the right to police Revocol. They've done an awful job here. Have you seen the place? This isn't humanism. We are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization protecting bourgeois rights. We can mutter silently. Immigrants, liberal, kibbutz, men are turning into women. On second thought, I don't have an opinion. Forget about it. Well, let's try number 1. In fact, says Kim, we would need them even if you didn't think that way. We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes. Actually, vigilantes is okay with me. Yeah, vigilantes sound bad. Maybe we should make our own law? Interesting. So, do we become a duo of vigilante cops? Do we say that vigilantism is bad, or maybe we should make our own law? Isn't that what vigilantes... Oh, you mean Revocol. Revocol can make its own law? Yeah, let's try that. Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop, but hypothetical aside, in Martinez, we already are vigilantes. At least the union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging. He looks at the roundabout. We pass a medium shivers check. The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string from east to west as Revocol commutes back to the suburbs. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Monday is over. We can just say nothing and look into the night. The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. Esprit de corps. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me. He thinks, this little stick right here. Oh, he's calling his cigarette a soldier. Finally, he pulls on the cigarette and says, they really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid Kumo, it's different inland, in Jamrock and the JRIH. Why are they like this, we can ask? It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our 2 precincts. And in Jamrock and the GRIH, he looks at the dark silhouette of the equestrian monument cutting into the night sky and says, we run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are. He shakes his head. But we are in control. And it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate. Night. Captain Ptolemy Price steps into his yard. A piebald horse waits by the motor carriage, chewing oats out of an oat bag. Seagulls fly overhead. The sky is black. Captain Price wears a black suit and a standard patrol coat as he mounts the horse to head home. Rows of houses on either side hunching over the sidewalks. And Precinct 41, with its dome roof growing distant, around him the streets are silent. A kid on the corner waves at the captain as he takes his turn on the Perdition and Main. The horse neighs. The captain nods back. Thanks, kid, he thinks. He's grateful. We can be pessimistic and says we won't change anything here, or we can be optimistic and say I hope our investigation will improve the situation around here, at least do some good. Daryl on Facebook shared my stream, gave me a thumbs up and a wink and 100 stars. Thank you, Daryl. Kim says me too, he says quietly, but I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes. Thank you for this week and say. We gained 30 experience. Kim says, yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go. He puts out the stub of his cigarette and looks to the door. See you in the morning, he says. Now, well, let's pick up some of the junk here. Clean up a little bit. Let's examine that window. I believe we can pass the check now. All right. The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from inside. Did I break it with my own hands? We can look at them. A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but nothing of it is recent. What did this then? More likely a projectile than a handheld object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back after its impact. We can... Wait, what am I doing? We can say something you've done before. We can assess the size of the impact. It's too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist. The shoe you found out on the balcony fits the hole almost as well as your foot. It would have also been heavy enough if thrown with force. Congratulations! You smashed the window with your own shoe. Maybe it wasn't me, we can say, or I'm sure I had a good reason for it. Maybe I was trying to hit someone, or it was a stupid thing to do. And we gained 5 experience. Pretty much, but hey, at least you found your shoe. We pass a pain threshold check, not that it'll keep you warm at night. Brr. Let's see if we can see our reflection finally. Locked. Locked. Dig deep into your mind. Locate the source of the expression. We need an encyclopedia of 2. Wow. My electrochemistry's still locked. Use your chain cutters to fix the faucet. Stop steam from fogging up the mirror. -10, tool not in hand. Hey, chain cutters. Let the mirror be for now. Hey, cool. Let's put the chain cutters in our hand. Maybe that'll allow us to pass the check. 42%. I fail it and I damage morale. Ouch. Well, I can try again in the morning. It's locked. Bummer. Where does that go? +1 to psyche and -1 to health. Uses left 4. Garbage on the ground. Gosh, it's absolutely everywhere. How much did this guy drink? But I can't pick up the conspicuous one. Well, let's hit the bed. The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful. We can crawl in. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come. But I want to sleep. Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not happening. Why? Maybe it's the bed's fault? We can check the pillow. Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. We can check the blanket. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily. We can roll over to the other side. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. I was born in a hospital where people usually go to die.
You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit. Tell me, do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
You said, who?
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth?
It's graphic. I don't know. Did I leave? Did she leave? I'm a drunk. I guess she left.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you.
Wow.
Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
I can get it all back. I don't want to come back. I can get it all back?
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me.
Is the disco ball there because I kept saying I was a superstar? Would it not be there had I not said that?
You failed Elysium.
What is Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Isolas on the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people, and you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
I've seen you before.
No, you haven't. You're just sleep-talking, and the act is wearing thin, too. The spots on the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time. sweating up the bed.
Stinky boy.
My limbic system just called me a stinky boy. What even is this game? It's ridiculous. I can come back from this.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours, bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
I'm trying to solve this case.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet, grinding in your head.
Something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad. This dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
God, there's another type?
Oh yes, party boy. And it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry.
I love the sing-song voice of the limbic system. No, let me sleep longer.
Time to go to work in the shit factory.
No, and the dream ends. Eric the Red says this game is delightfully demented. It really, really is. But my morale is healed, as is my health. Good morning, buddy, says electrochemistry. I just had the most beautiful dream, uplifting, rejuvenating. Is that how it's going to be now when I close my eyes? Or, oh my God, what the hell was that? Oh, just a dream, says electrochemistry. You have ones like that all the time. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night. What the hell is going on with me? You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think. Why is this happening? It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. Oh, we pass a volition check. Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself. Wait, what is speed? Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It keeps you propped up all day yesterday despite your debilitating hangover. How else do you think you even got up from this floor? You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago with me to wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you die. Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple. Well, I need to get more of it then. Detecting is my life. We can opt in or no. I can take this. I'm not going to go looking for speed. Let's try it. Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically a week? Let's be honest. 2 weeks? Maybe 3? You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You'll be fired. Who am I kidding? Of course I want speed. Or that's a lie. I can do this without the speed. Half the town won't be dead. And we gain 5 experience. Suit yourself. Slow, sad, shell of a man. See how you do without your spark. Oh, God. Well, I got this Pyrrholdion. Find money and rent for Gart. You need to find 20 real a day to pay your room at the Whirling, or it'll be locked at 2100. As long as you don't have a free place to stay, you'll have to do this every night. I need to find my home in Jamrock. I can level up. I could level up interfacing to try and pass that mirror check again. Let's try that. Map wall, mirror. Let's try and do the interfacing check. Oh, but I need a crowbar in my hand. Or chain cutters. $58%. Yes! The faucet is quite terribly mangled, but you just might be able to twist its parts into place. You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. The stream stops. Told you that you needed those chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it. Oh no. This one's locked, encyclopedia. We could try to pass an electrochemistry check, attempt to stop the expression from happening. But I like the expression. It's only 17%. Let's try it. Oh. Still not happening. Won't come off that easily. All right, I need to improve electrochemistry and encyclopedia. Bummer. Now, I need to let the dog out real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to have to let him back in just a bit. Kim? Kim? Let's suppress the urge. Maybe he's waiting for me downstairs. Milosh says, who let the dog out? Ox! Ox! I did let the dog out. He'll be back. It's open. And Kim is back. All right. Let's put the flashlight on. Well, it's not night. Let's put this on. Now, this is going to remove my authority, but I gain Inland Empire and empathy. I guess let's try it. Wolf Dragon Tamer says, Ox chair with good conversation.
Morning.
He gives you a quick nod. Looks like we can get to work at once. The Union muscle turned up. He points to the mess hall doors. They look rowdy. We should talk to them. What do you mean rowdy, we can ask? And he says, I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the Union. These men here. Men who drink beer before breakfast. There's talk of an armed wing of the Union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for said policing. I think it's them. Why do we need to talk to them, we can ask? And he says everything points to the Dock Workers Union. The tracks in the mud, the circumstances in Martinez, my preliminary information, which may of course all be wrong, but we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy. Are these the men Gart told us about yesterday? And Kim says, I completely forgot. He looks at his notes. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. And we get experience, all right. He crosses something out. One loose thread to worry about and one big problem to replace. There are so many of them, we can say. Maybe we should call in reinforcements. And he says that would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving the murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debadiers Union. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay? We pass a half-light check. He's not exaggerating about the mortal danger, just calmly factoring it in. Your fists clench and your pulse rises uncomfortably. Let's roll, we can say. One more thing before we do. He glances at the booth again. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them. Continue with our business. We pass an authority check. Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first. They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me. Interesting. Let's save the game. Our lady is back.
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria
And
manager.
there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
The cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic.
It's fine. I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
The lady is distressed. Perhaps something more upbeat might cheer her up? Howdy, Lana. What's kicking? I don't want to say sorry. Then I'm going to become the sorry cop. Let's be cheery.
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working.
A faint smile tells you she appreciates the effort, but at the moment her mind is on more serious matters.
The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
She sighs. Wait, what's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
And she frowns. We pass an interfacing check. Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask Gart, maybe. Why did you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who is house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and Gary were supposed to be back on Monday night, but they're still missing and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Okay, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
We pass a shivers check. A cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweet in it. Somnolent. A damp chill goes down your spine. When you look around, you're still in the whirling and rags.
But you have more important things to worry about.
She glances out the window towards the bay. What is this expedition your husband was on, we can ask? Just some field work, sweetie. Morrill is a highly trained scientist. He and his servant, Gary, are studying an extremely rare species of insect, but they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the waterlock to set a few traps. He said that he'd be back on Monday. She sighs. What could be keeping them? We pass a logic check. The waterlock. That was broken. Could this be it? Ah. Wait, who is this Gary person? Do you trust him? Oh, sweetie. It's nothing like that, she says. Gary's as loyal as they come. I'd trust him with my husband's life any day. We can say the waterlock to the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably just stuck there. Oh my, what happened to the waterlock, she says. Probably just some technical problem, or I really don't know. And we get 5 experience. Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. She turns to the lieutenant, to both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night. You're welcome, ma'am, says Kim. She turns back to us. I hate to ask this, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband. This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock has been repaired, and it's cold out there. If I see him, I'll let him know that you're here, when or if I get there. And we get a new quest. Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie. Wolf Dragon Tamer with a very generous tip says, Scotch or cigar money for being awesome during these stressful days. I'm sure everyone agrees when I say you help us all stay positive very much. Well, thank you. And if I'm honest, you guys help me stay positive as well, because the quarantine it's hard on me too. It's hard on my family. But every time I sit down here, you guys keep on cheering me up with your dad jokes and your constant witticisms. So I really appreciate it. I'll be right back. I got to let my dog inside. Won't be 2 secs. Be right back. Right, where were we? So, your husband is some kind of scientist? Oh yes, she says with a pinch of pride, a zoologist. A cryptozoologist to be more precise. What is cryptozoology? It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends. The lieutenant sounds unimpressed. Whoops, that's one opinion, yes, says Lena, and people are entitled to their opinions. Kim says, my apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby. That's it. He called it a hobby. That's undermining it again. It's not a hobby, dear, she says. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research. We can pass an empathy check. She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own. Tell me about moral, looks, character, your relationship. Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin. Well, what does your husband look like, we can ask. Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's, and his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle. It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world. Let's try again. If I were trying to meet him on the street, what would I look for? Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even. The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description. One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case. How long have you been married, we can ask? And she says, well, we'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Her smile is soft. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow. How did the two of you meet, we can ask? And she says, via a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are. She smiles wistfully. We pass a reaction speed check. She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later. Yes, she is a bit. I think I have all the information I need. Let's move on, we can say. Next, we can say, tell me more about this rare insect your husband is looking for. And she says, oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. She catches herself. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutia. The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance. No, we can say, I want to hear about the insect. And she says, well, and she hesitates. It's a phasmid, technically. But, oh yeah, here comes the interesting, says Inland Empire. Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. She looks you in the eye and nods thoughtfully. Hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers? There's a touch of awe in the way she enunciates the creature's name. I knew it, says Kim. The lieutenant sighs. We're going to be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists. And Lena says, it's not made up, officer. I can assure you. It's simply elusive. So much so that established zoologists doubt that it exists at all. Oh man, I've got to really find this insect now. What makes you think the phasmid is around here, we can ask. Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in the local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping. Right, because as we've learned from all of the videos we've done about Fallout 76 cryptids, hey, if it's published in a newspaper, it's got to be true. Interesting. Maybe the phasmid made the teenagers make out? Let's try it. She laughs. I doubt it. It's not like teenagers need much encouragement in that regard. So a newspaper clipping is all the evidence you have, we can say? Of course, she says. Most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at. So is it dangerous, we can ask? And she chuckles to herself. Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully? Is it valuable, we can ask? And she says, oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie. Does it have cool powers, we can ask? And she says, yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. Her face lights up at the thought of it. It's how it stayed hidden all these years, centuries even. Okay, so what is so special about this stick bug then, we can ask? Oh dear, she says, I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special. The woman's face flushes with embarrassment. Morrill can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure. We can pass a suggestion test, which is 92% high. This is great. By saying, maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids. Hey! We're not even playing Fallout 76, and we're learning about cryptids. I like it. Wolf Dragon Tamer says, did you hear the one about the man who put a clock under his desk? He wanted to work overtime. Or to work overtime? No, that's good. Oh, great. Thank you, Wolf Dragon Tamer. All right, if we pass the check, no snake eyes. Yes! There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask. Hey, Lena, I'd like to hear about some of the cryptids you've studied. Could you tell me about a couple of them? Oh, I'd be delighted, she says. Truth be told, I could really use the company, too. The lieutenant throws you one of his looks. One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza. Cryptid extravaganza? I like the sound of that, and I don't, says Kim. Just one. Volition says, or he'll be disappointed in you. Encyclopedia says, ooh, tough choice there. Oh, just one? What's the biggest cryptid? What's the tiniest cryptid? What's the most dangerous cryptid? Is that a cryptid on this pen that you gave me? And we can take out the pen she gave us. Are there any invisible cryptids? This has been educational, sadly. We need to discuss something else. Let's see if she can talk about the cryptid on the pen, which thankfully we still have. Yes, it's the kind green ape. Half war story, half undiscovered species in the genus Homo. War story, we can ask? And she says, yes, it was reported by soldiers in South Safred during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva. Oh! I can imagine it now. You go out to war, it's an awful fight, you go to the bunker at night, you're sleeping, and then suddenly you hear the rustle. And then a green ape sneaks into your bunker and just starts licking you all over. This is disgusting. Wow, we can say, with its saliva? And she says, yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight. This game is ridiculous. No Name says, I never wanted to believe that my dad was stealing from his job as a road worker. But when I got home, all the signs were there. Oh, good one. Cheers to that. And there was something about an undiscovered subspecies of man, we can say. And she says, indeed there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Some taxonomic family, different genus. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor and that evolved parallel to our own, just like your partners. I knew it, Kim! You're not human, we can say. He gives Alina a look, communicating something between disgust and exasperation. Ma'am, you're confusing him. Please don't misunderstand me, either of you, she says. Human is, as it is used in everyday speech, is hardly a taxonomic category. For all intents and purposes, you can be thought of as human. She looks at the lieutenant genially. Though ceolites do have some distinguishing characteristics, different advantages, if you will. Ceolites? Yes, advantages such as the flakier texture of zeolite earwax, or so I've heard. Oh, okay. Nothing inspires pride in one species quite like speculative evolutionary biology. Perhaps we've had enough of that today. I know he said one, but I gotta find out, what's the most dangerous cryptid? Kim says, the lieutenant leans in. Hey, you promised you'd only ask about one cryptid. But Kim, don't you want to hear about the other cryptids too? And the lieutenant pauses thoughtfully. Something in him breaks. Ah, screw it. Let's have more cryptids, says Kim. Yes! Lena says, she smiles. Well, the most dangerous cryptid... Something in him breaks. Oh, poor Kim. By the time he's done being our partner, he's just going to be a puddle of a man. We're going to ruin him. We broke his volition. Well, she says, the most dangerous cryptid is thought to have been the gnome of Jeroma. No, none of its victims have survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue almost entirely. What did this cryptid look like, we can ask? And she says it was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead, an ungainly little thing, quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in a tarpaulin to suffocate it. She looks at you, her voice grave suddenly. It still took the gnome of Jeroma an entire day to die. If the body of the creature was found, the lieutenant can't help himself, why aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks confirming the existence of this very lethal species? Alas, says Lena, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science, she says, mostly to herself. Very convenient, that. What's the biggest cryptid, we can ask? That would be the giant of Coco Noor, she says, as if it's common knowledge. The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Coco Noor desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes. Wait, what do you mean, odd light, we can ask? She says a mirage, or a psychogenous luminance? Golly, psychogenous luminance? She does not elaborate on the nature of this luminance further. And just how big is it, we can ask? No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision. Is it dangerous, we can ask? The towering luminosity of Coco Noor is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a fata morgana, others a fate unimaginable. Hooey, says Kim. The lieutenant interjects. No animal can be that large. It's a mirage. That's what makes it so peculiar, says Lena, a species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Coconur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Coconur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes. We pass an inland empire check. Great. This is great crap. You need more. Inland Empire is having a great time. Deuteronomus says luminescence. Is that how I pronounce it? Luminescence. Thank you. Martin on Facebook with a very generous donation of stars says, Hey Ox, cheers from Germany. My best superstar cup. Thank you, Martin. All right, we can try. What's the tiniest cryptid? Cryobacter catlensis. Cryobacter catlensis. She answers immediately. Cryobacter catlensis? Yes. A unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Katla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Migenou some 70 years ago. What's so special about it, we can ask? And she says the bacterial colony Migenou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate, certainly from before recorded history. Migenou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study, no doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life. She injected herself with 1,000-year-old bacteria she found in ice? Okay, sounds reckless. Wait, she injected herself with it, we can ask? And she says, yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea. It's actually a little hard to see. He looks at her skeptically. But do go on, says Kim. You mean there's an immortal geologist wandering the world? Yes, and she's quite mad too, says Lena. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away. We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream. Are there any invisible cryptids, we can ask? And she says, what an interesting question. And the answer is, yes, of course there are. Of course, says Kim, all fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them. Shush, Kim. She's going to tell me about the invisible cryptid. What is it? And she says it's the Koldomama Dakwa. The woman corrects her glasses. Its name means thin whisper of sound, and that's precisely what it is. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. The Koldomama is very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track. What does it sound like? We can ask. And she says, like nothing. It's such a high-pitched sound that us humans can't hear it, nor can other animals. It could be ringing right outside your window, and you wouldn't even know it. It could be anywhere, everywhere even. And Kim interjects. The lieutenant looks at her skeptically. Fine, I'll bite, he says. How can an animal be a sound? Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory. Could it be here? Right now? And she says, it could be, she says calmly. As I said, it could be everywhere, and we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights. Maybe it's predatory. What if it's predatory? It's not, she says. Don't worry. If it were predatory, we would have found it by the damage it inflicts. I wouldn't be so sure, says Half-Life. What if the damage is also invisible? What evidence is there of this animal being a sound? And she says plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 20s, a group of Areopagite ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing. When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ia mountain range, they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds. Songbirds. The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest-pitched bat calls. She transforms when speaking about these strange animals into a confident woman. They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Koldamadakwa, after the Pericarnassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent. Go on, we can say. They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and, she smiles, even began to name some of them. Name them, we can ask. And she says, sequester, time, Yosquin, she nods. Those are but some of the Mamadakwa they followed individually. Well, why is the Mamadakwa so afraid of us, we can ask? And she says, that is a sad story. And she frowns. A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project and, no doubt, because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction. Extinction, we can ask. And she says, as she nods gravely, they tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mamadakwas. And what happened when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear? What happens? This lady really should be a teacher. She's really good at explaining things. They cancel each other out, we can say. And she says, exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population. Great regret washes over her, a wending cloth. After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ia, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Koldamadakwa population anywhere. Of course, says Kim, a common thread in these, disappearance and unfalsifiability. He concedes. I like the story though, ma'am. And Lena says, I'm glad you did, dear. She seems genuinely glad. Interesting. What about, we can say, she smiles gently. What about what? Man, I just can't get enough of these cryptids, we can say. She grins. I'm glad you like them, but I'm not really one to tell you about all of them. You should ask my husband if you get the chance. He is the real expert. I'd really like to hear more about cryptids, we can say. Kim says, you know, to hell with it. Let's have more cryptids. That brings us back to the same dialogue tree, so let's back out and say that's all for now, ma'am. Whoo-wee. Wow, that was a long conversation. Man, how much time do I have left? I've got 35 minutes. Ashen Owen Gaming, welcome new member. And Melana Richards says, what do you call a doctor who is half man and half horse? A centaur for disease control. A doctor who's half man, half horse. A centaur for disease. That's, wow. I've never heard that. Every time, every stream, I learn one that's new. Okay, well, let's head inside. But we don't have to talk to anyone. Let's just walk in first without talking. It's a bowl. There's spit in it, reeking of tobacco. Photos of men in overalls toting guns and Union placards. You see Hawthorne blush outside. Hawthorne blushes outside. Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. The men are talking, but you swear you hear those black limbs tap on the window as the wind blows. We can pass. We can try to look out the window, but that's a really low. It's not time yet. Oh, that's a -12. We can squint. There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's too cold outside. You're not so sure about that. Somehow you just know there's something out there behind the glass. There's something out there. Yeah, your mother, says Shanky. But it's still too low. It's not time yet. I guess I have to wait for the right time. We can revert our gaze. Can't talk to him. Can't talk to him. Can't talk to him. Can't talk to him. Can't talk to him or him. We can talk to this guy only. Now, this was our friend from outside. He's inside now.
Let me handle
Or
this.
she's inside. The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you.
Detective disorientated.
She smiles.
Are you still
coldly.
wondering where you are? This is Martinez, in case you've forgotten. I advise you not to overstay your welcome.
I just wanted to know more about the place before I check out. That's normal.
Yes, extremely normal. I'm not a gardener, by the way. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
And she crosses her arms.
So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy. You think he has information that will help you? Maybe he does.
She points to the man on her right.
That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming, nothing official. The district of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her. What's your role in all of this, we can ask? Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. And she crosses her arms. Do you have hearing problems? What if I want to talk to you and not Titus? What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority in Martinez. You are no one. What are you going to do to me? Says Kim. The lieutenant is not satisfied with the approach. What are we going to do to you? She starts laughing. It's a cold laughter, devoid of joy. The union isn't going to do anything to you. It's not a crime syndicate. It's a labor organization. Titus Hardy says, a gruff hump from the table. Doggone right it is. If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. She shakes her head, but we digress. Why are you so aggressive? Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers. Says Kim. So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects? Just dock workers? Listen, you moral intern lackeys, you're a mob enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revocol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards. Screw yeah, the tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer. So, ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders. Wow, we have a number of options. The world needs a financial buffer zone. No need to get emotional. The privatization is not unlawful. It's cool and funny. Maybe you're just not historic individuals. I don't know where you heard that, but it's wrong. The RCM is principled and strong, unlike you socialists. I like that. Good start. Let's take it a step further. Armed uprising. What are the union's plans? Yeah, let's do that. Let's ask those questions. Man, I don't really like any of these answers. If we act directly, she's just going to laugh. So let's do number 5. Let's. Her expression stiffens. Okay, back into this dialogue tree. Let's try something else. The world needs a financial buffer zone. No need to get emotional. No one is emotional here. Her expression stiffens further. Do your job. Ask your questions, then leave. What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinez. You must be mistaken. I'm a real radical, we can say, or that's me, Mr. Reasonable. Someone's got to keep it sane around here, or this is because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it? We can say. And empathy says it's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary urge of serotonin. But something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience. So I'm not going to become Mr. Sorry. I'm going to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience. First, where is this kingdom of conscience? It's not a place. It's a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times. How do you bring about those circumstances? Incrementally. Electrochemistry says, yawn, you'd get there faster with a little speed. History's great catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment. But what about all of the things that are wrong now, we can ask? And empathy says, tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren may not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What benevolence, says volition. What a joke, says electrochemistry. Wait, is the kingdom of conscience really about doing things or just preserving the status quo? Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? Yes? There you have it. Something holding the line is progress. Okay, but what's the kingdom of conscience actually like? The kingdom is difficult to comprehend and even more difficult to describe. Partially because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual. Sounds incredible. Alan Z, let's go there right now, where that seems fine. I'll still want to live for the present, though. Man, that sounds kind of terrible. I don't think I want to be a moralist anymore. Opt out. Both of those options opt out. So I chose not to be sorry guy, but now I have an option to be a moral guy. Let's try it. Oh, slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow? Oh, right. Then let's get there eventually. Thought gained. Kingdom of conscience. That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revocol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier. Oh, so that's what I missed by not doing the sorry one. Let's internalize. Can I not? Temporary research bonus -2 to half-life, calm water, research time 1 hour. Problem solution. Why can't I internalize it? Unlock a new slot to research the thought. Oh. My slots are full. How do I unlock a slot? I guess by leveling up. Huh, okay. I only have 3 slots. Find Moral, the cryptozoologist. That's my quest for today. Well, let's talk to this guy. And I'm out of cigar. Let me light up a new cigar real quick.
This is where you say your bit.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
Detective?
The lieutenant acknowledges you with one sharp note. He's leaving it to you. Esprit de Corps, Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you. Maybe against his better judgment, but he does. Three options. Don't say anything. First, we need to talk about your attitude. We need to talk about the man hanged out back. No Name says that this game needs something to yeet. Well, maybe we can yeet something when we knock the body off. Okay. If we don't say anything, we intimidate him. If we try to talk about his attitude, we're basically allowing ourselves to be manipulated by him because that's what he wanted us to do. He's trying to get our goat by being rough and rude. Let's not say anything. Maybe intimidation will work.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
You can cross our arms.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
The little guy looks at his mates in dismay.
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
Who's this other guy talking?
We're looking for Titus Hardy.
The lieutenant turns to the broad-shouldered man at the end of the table. Okay. Well, let's talk about the man hanged out back.
Oh, this is about him? A real looker, that one.
You're sure taking your time. Waiting for him to get all ripe and pretty for you, huh?
Oh, he's a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff. Letting out that pretty boy smell.
Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Man, that was straight up Austin Powers Dr. Evil laughing right there.
Easy, boys. These janitors have a hell of a job cut out for them. I mean, I wouldn't go in there for $1 million.
He slaps his forehead.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them. That was a successful suggestion. Visual calculus. Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match. Let's scan the room. Starting from the right, boot size 44. Blonde man in his 30s, overbearingly masculine. Sitting to his right, standing, working boots, size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room, possibly mid-50s, smoker, and quiet. Across at the other table, hob-nailed working boots, size 43, gang tattoos, Mesk or Cimmerizian, in his late 30s, early 40s. A symmetric burn on his neck, resembling the letters Los Los. Has he tried to burn it off, leave that life behind? And then, a standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 46. The big jerk, wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap, fingerless gloves, and numerous scars, a little under 40. Perception, success. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, captain. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic, beverage in hand. You squint. Is that plectrum? Where? On his neck. Forget it. It's not important. Let's call this one the musician. And the little guy? Size 41 with the light step, and not a child after all. An older man with a rat face, mean watery eyes and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing, big guy, boots 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 were the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there is a discrepancy. One of them is missing, the odd soul. Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy? Let's ask. What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy boy. There's 7 of us, and we're all here. He sizes you up. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy boy? We ain't hiring. And he shakes his head. And we gain 5 experience. Actually, boss, we've been talking, and we think she could maybe... Suggestion. This person Glenn wants to hire. He really respects her. Shut the heck up, Glenn. He roars. I do the talking here. Now what the heck do you want, cop? Kim interjects. So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her? That's right, says Titus. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy boys matter. Nothing to do with your crap. And, he points at the lieutenant, you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you. Good, says Kim. We're all watching each other. The lieutenant adjusts his spectacles. Officer, your questions? There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later. All right, so I think I should walk away. Right. The tomatoes are so thinly sliced I can see through them. Now, I wonder if time has changed so that I can look through this window. It's not time yet. Same guy. It's all about money, you know. Wow. Let's see if we can go buy that book and get Kuno on our side. Was that, could it be, the Col de Mama d'Aqua? No. It's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear. Is it? Is there a ringing? There seems to be. An extremely high-pitched ringing. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles in your ear. Wait, Kim, do you hear a high-pitched noise? No, I don't hear the Col de Mama d'Aqua, and neither do you, says Kim. Of course he doesn't. He's deaf. We can listen closely. There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long species. Keep listening. It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe it will come towards you. Physical instrument. What are you doing? You're a police officer, not a pansy ornithologist. The only birds you should be looking for are healthy women of childbearing age. We can move our head towards the sound. Oh no, the sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. No, too late. It's gone. There's no ringing anymore, just the sound of streets. No, come back, please, and we can listen again. Thought gained. Keep your ears peeled then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again. And we've got a new thought. The cold dome mama d'aqua. But we can't internalize it. We haven't unlocked... Ooh, unlockable. Hey. How do I unlock it? Unlock a new slot to research the thought. Initialization requirement. Initialization? Initialization requirement. Well, I've got two different thoughts I can internalize, but I don't know how to unlock the slots for them. So I guess we'll just wait, I guess. Have I not interrogated these guys? I just had a conversation with them. And I kept going until it said that if I do it any further, I'm not going to get anything new. I guess by not asking about the body, I didn't fulfill the requirements for that quest.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
The man hanged in the backyard. Did you do it? The pretty boy? He takes a sip from his can. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy. Funny, says Kim, the lieutenant says without a smile, but my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you. Why are your boot prints all over the scene, we can say. You mean these boots? He raises his worker boot, size 46, steel reinforced. Yes, we all got a pair, says Titus. He squints. We wore them the night we took the pretty boy out back and hung him by the neck. Half light. As he speaks, his fists contract, going through the pulling motion again, savoring it. Yeah, we did it. He looks you dead in the eye. Together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why our prints are all over the scene. Aha, so you just confessed to murder? Doggone right, No, the woman interjects. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. And they told you what happened, so you don't waste any more of your time. Who called the shots that night? Are you deaf? There will be no slinging anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy Boy without arresting all the Hardy Boys, says Elizabeth. A shadow of a smirk passes her lips as she tilts her head. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest all of them? I don't have to. We can say one of them was more complicit than the others. No, but seriously, who calls the shots around here? As for the courts in Les Jardins to decide, not for the officer making the arrest, which we all know you won't be. She sounds almost helpful. What you can do right now is go back to your station and write a report. No, says the lieutenant says calmly. We'll stay here and discuss what happened that night. When did this hanging incident occur? You don't have to keep answering his questions, the fixer turns to remind Titus. I know, Lizzie, relax. He takes a sip. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week. How long have you known the victim, we can ask? Known him? We don't associate with scum like that. Jerk. Yeah, who do you think we are? Quiet! Titus gives Glenn a stern look. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy? By the Pines cow, you mean the representative for Wild Pines? The lieutenant checks his notes. The shipping company you're striking against? No, he stresses, I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to screw us over. But you know what? He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over. Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough. That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. She turns to you. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last question. Why'd you kill him? Why? He hisses through his teeth. Because he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out of line in my town. So he was a mercenary? That's it? And he stepped out of line, he repeats, jaw clamped shut like a vice. What kind of mercenary, says Kim? The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Seminine written all over him. Ex-Orangees, Special Forces, a live grenade. The man spreads his arms. Right here in our bar. This one has a special gripe with him coming here, says our empathy. I can't prove it, says Titus, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc crap like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara. Hold on, how do you even know he was Special Forces? Because one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm Orange's doggone Special Forces and I'm going to screw you all. Really, says Kim? Haha. Yeah, really, says Eugene. Had a grin and tonic up there, sing some Orange's paratrooper song, and says he's going to screw everyone. We couldn't believe it either, but he did it, right there. He points at the stage like some kind of animal. Right, but what did he actually do wrong, we can ask. Wrong, he roars. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning. He wiped spittle from his mouth. There's slight unease in him suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape. Titus chimes in. To kill us all if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. He cracks his knuckles. And that was before he started coming here. Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls, grabbed one of ours, mid-karaoke, right here on stage. He grabbed someone, says Kim. The lieutenant is trying to make sense of this flood of information. Yeah, the girl's on the mic, a beautiful girl, young, gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The jerk grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me, oh my God, I can't even read this. Why don't you show me? Then he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle, doesn't even fall down. He shakes his head in disbelief. Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted, you said? Aren't you listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen. Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you listening? He repeats like a parrot. Right, but who did he rape then? This is a very serious allegation. No, there's a moment of silence. You're not getting a name. That's a Martinez matter, and I'm not discussing it with you clowns. Despite the stonewalling, you can slip one more question in. I'm going to ask one last time. Who did the dead man rape? Titus, do not answer. You have been forthcoming enough. Screw off, cop. He doesn't take the advice. She's gone through enough without you harassing her too. She doesn't need more embarrassment. What are you talking about, embarrassment? If someone has been harassed or assaulted, we need to... What you need is to get the crap out of my face. You hear the aluminum crack in his palm as he squeezes the beer can. I've had enough of explaining myself to you jerks. He's dead. It's done. The woman turns to you calmly. As you can see, these men can only take so much baseless scrutiny. I'm doing my best to keep the situation civil, but what follows is a slow head shake. It won't be for long, she means. It's true. She was the only thing holding them back. Milosh says, we should start a petition for YouTube to make it available for us to gift a join to our friends in chat. There are people who deserve the perks. That would be really cool. I'm sure they'll consider it at some time. Well, we're getting really close to these guys turning violent. I wonder if one more question. How did you kill him? We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper? Didn't they teach you anything at the old cop school, idiot? Can you give us a few more details, says Kim. Did you muffle him? We haven't heard any reports of screams. Titus, you don't have to clarify anything. We overpowered him, dragged his unconscious body to the tree, put a noose around his neck, and hanged him till he was dead and steady. Then we left him for the seagulls, maggots, the small man points to you, and you jerks. Wasn't he a trained killer from the Orangey Special Forces? If yes, how did you manage to overpower him? We can't pass a composure check, but we could fail it. Let's try asking about the overpowering. With numbers, jerk, how do you think? He looks at the woman. You're right, Lizzie, I've done enough explaining here. No, he hasn't, says reaction speed, not yet. Where did this overpowering happen? Weren't you listening? The jerk came into our bar. He looks around. It happened right here. Shanky might be lying. It's only 42%. Let me back out, ask more questions, and then see if maybe my ability to pass this check goes up. Let's try. You murdered him just like that, no remorse. How many people have you sent to the chase? Ever felt remorse for them? Or sent them to reunion to rot for 20 years? For life? He says it as if it were worse than dying. Look, I'm just doing my job. Yes, but they were all criminals. What you do is different. We enforce the law. You just kill people like it's nothing. Honestly, I just drink so much, I can't be... I really can't remember anyone I've sent behind bars. None of these options are going to make us seem better in their eyes. Let's try number 1. Titus grins. Rest assured, lawman, none worse than our guy. He got what was coming to him. All right, let's try and pass the check. 42%. Actually, they're admirably, surprisingly composed, the entire room, given how many questions you've lobbied their way. All of them, maybe one of them is fidgeting, cracking under the pressure. Well, this one, but he's always fidgeting, so don't get your hopes up. So what are we going to do now? New task, prove your authority to Titus Hardy. Nothing. Her reply comes sharp. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong. Kim says, I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things just don't add up here. The lieutenant closes his notebook. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder, even if it's a group responsibility. We're going to look into this. Good luck with that, says Titus. He grabs another beer. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is going to hear from us, real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating. Rent-a-cop? So that's what this is about. He doesn't see you as his equals. We could pass an authority check. But our authority isn't very high. Maybe if we remove our tablet.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
58% by removing the tablet. Establish authority. We have a couple of options. First you tell me someone's been raped, then you don't say who. That's bullshit, or bullcrap, and we can stomp our feet. I'm the only thing keeping this town from going to hell, and you're not helping. We can point your finger. Turn to the lieutenant. Kim, I need your gun. That's it? That's all I got? Did you already try the gun thing? I hear the gun thing is excellent and has great results. All right. Why, says Kim. This is not what he thinks it is. It's a great idea, says Authority. I'm afraid it's not what you think it is either, says Volition. Everybody calm down. Kim, the gun, please. What? Who, me? What is this? Yes, you. Stop talking out loud. You sound like you're unraveling. Everybody calm down. This is only a demonstration. Turn to Kim. Kim, the gun, please. What in the name of heck are you doing? But, says Kim, the lieutenant looks worried. He whispers, I don't want to give you my gun. Shanky says, the crap is happening, Titus. What are they whispering about? Easy, Shanks. The leader gestures for him to stand down. I want to see where this is going. I'm not scared anymore. I know what I have to do. Trust me, Kim. I'm merely flesh. There is no other way. I know what I'm doing. Not my first day on the police job. I want to turn back. It's too late for that. Police job? He tilts his head to the side as if inspecting you. A brief moment passes in silence. Then the pressure in the room grows to a boiling point. Item gained! We got the gun! Careful! It's loaded! He unholsters and gives you his firearm. It feels oddly light and buzzing in your hand like a funny toy. Good. Now point it in your mouth. No. But I wanted to point it at them, we can say. And authority says, I want to point it at them. Fa! Quit your whining. Everyone knows how to do that. You're a special man. You're going to point it at yourself. Go ahead. Show them. And we put the barrel in our mouth. What are you doing, says Kim. The short, cold barrel touches your lips. It tastes like iron and hell, and we lose morale. Genuine panic flies across the lieutenant's face. Fellas, the big guy glances over his shoulders. You getting any of this? I suddenly regret doing this, but I'm in too deep. In too deep. These are my thoughts. This is my head. You will never forget what happens in 5 seconds. If you don't respect me, you better get ready to respect me in 5, 4, 3. I'm not screwing this case up. Finger on the trigger. You will respect me. I'm going to kill myself now, you jerk. Or we could give the gun back to the lieutenant. Countdown. He's gonna off himself. Come on. No. A calm voice in the back of the room. He'll do it. Go ahead, son. 3, 2. Kisses, kisses, kisses. No! Give it to Lieutenant Kitsuragi. It's not too late. You can still spin this as some kind of tactic. Horrific necktie begins to speak to us. Bratan, we can't have any fun if you kill yourself. Painting the booth red with your brains sounds like a real blast now, but what about later? There will be nothing. I'm not screwing this case up. You will respect me. We'll solve the case, says Kim. Look at me. Don't worry. He appears calm suddenly. This demonstration is not helping at all. Yeah, because I sort of want to see that crap. Glenn says, you won't, man. His balls aren't big enough. You will never forget what happens in 5 seconds if you don't respect me. Fellas, the cop is really threatening to off himself. This is insane. No, that is not what is happening, says Kim. He turns to us. This show is unnecessary. Give me my gun now. These are my thoughts. This is my head. What in the name of mother? What? He looks closer, squinting at you. What is he saying? Some insane crap? Nothing. Give me my gun. I'm going to kill myself now, and we can pull the trigger. Careful, it's loaded, said Kim. I don't think Kim loaded the gun. I'm going to pull the trigger. Deranged cop kills himself! Citizens in shock as a deranged law official, reportedly from the 41st precinct, shot himself in the head last night in the middle of a crowded cafeteria in downtown Martinez. The exact details of the incident have not been revealed, but first-hand witnesses claim that the officer was making a point. Can't say I'm surprised, Lawrence Gart, manager of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria where the incident took place, commented. He was extremely unstable and had threatened to kill himself before. Oh, where's my load save? Auto save. Let's see where we were. I totally thought it wasn't loaded. Nope. Let's try this again.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Hey, at least we get an opportunity to pass the check again. The authority check. Let's try this. Authority
Looks like
check.
the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Yeah, we passed the authority check. Hooray for being shot in the head. It all works out in the end. As you look around this room full of sweaty men swearing, drinking, spitting out tobacco, does this look familiar? Where have I seen this before? You believe the place was called Precinct 41. It was also filled with almost exclusively men sitting on desks, talking crap and wasting time. Tara says, Ox, you really thought it was fake. There was no way I thought that Kim would give me a loaded gun. I'm shocked that he would have done that. My character has been so unstable this entire game, but he did. He gave me a loaded gun. Milosh says, everyone who has Twitter, go tweet at YouTube that they should make a join gifting a possibility. It's a great idea. I hope they do it someday. You seen Apricot, old Piddaloo's daughter? Asks Lieutenant McCoy. Replies Torson. The butt on that one. McCoy shakes his head in appreciation. A bit strange the old man named her Apricot, but I mean, who am I to judge? Want to hit the kebab joint? I get it, Titus. You guys really are the authority around here. Huh? You must be. You're just like real cops, drinking beer and sitting around with in your hand. He leans in. You got a problem with beer now? Not quite there yet. Push on. No, we can say, I'm drunk on the job too. I don't give a crap just like you guys. No, I'm also a big fan of beer and jerking off instead of helping people. Or I have a beer problem, but not a problem with beer. I also have no idea how to do my job. Like you. Let's try number 2. You saying we don't help people? He puts the beer down. I've been doing this job for 10 years. Martinez was a dump before we put this outfit together. They don't know, man. They weren't here. He turns to you. We had 3 shootings a week. Kids dead. Graffiti everywhere. You cops haven't shown up since the 30s. Kim says, congratulations on the graffito removal. He turns to Titus. All I see is you sitting around talking about Monica's boobs. There's a rape victim. So what? What do you want from me? We took care of the jerk. He picks the beer up. Don't let him drink that. One more push, quickly. Just don't antagonize him. You have this already. I think he's right. We don't need to antagonize him. It's not about who did it. It's about the victim. She needs help. Or someone's been raped. She needs counseling. We need to talk to her. Let's do number 1. Titus, he looks at her. She stops mid-sentence. That's it. You got him. He's going to give it up, but on his terms. You want to help her, cop? Fine. I'm going to let you help her, but you treat her with respect. If you don't, if you question her, harass her, Titus taps his chin with his fist. A freight train of pain, buddy. The lieutenant takes out his notes. What's her name? Klasje Amandu. She's staying here at the Whirling in Rags. The girl upstairs, a real pretty one, silvery jumpsuit blonde. Titus adjusts his cap. That's Amandu with an O-U. Crap! The girl upstairs? That can't be her. Remember what you said to her? You told her you want to have... Oh no! It's her! It's definitely her! It's Miss Orange Disco Dancer! We could try to pass a composure check. But we said we don't remember being a cop. We said we don't remember reality. We said that we wanted to have sex with her. And we said that we're a superstar cop. Class J, we correct our tie. Damaged morale. Yes, blonde hair. 2 rooms over from yours. He nods upstairs. Miss Orange Disco Dancer? Sure, why not? You've probably seen her around. And he nods upstairs. Well, I'm gonna fail this, but I can't back out, so I gotta do it. You inexplicably add cool after the victim's name, with your eyes bulging like some wild beast. Your fingers are fidgeting and sweat starts forming on your brow as Titus looks at you oddly. I don't understand what's so cool here, says Titus. Nothing, says Kim, and he gives us a sideways glance. We just have a few more questions, then we'll be on our way. Whatever you do, don't tell him that you know her. That would sound off. So, what was her relationship with the mercenary, we can ask? Titus's relationship, there was no relationship. He raped her. That's what the relationship was. Something is off here. His anger is possessive. It was like that karaoke incident all over again, or like some of the other girls he was harassing. Okay, enough, says Elizabeth. All of this is irrelevant to your stated investigation. So the rape, when was that? Or so, scratch your head. What is your relationship with her? I think I laughed nervously. I think I know her. We'd better not say that. Let's ask about when the rape was. He did it before we killed him. He's not going to do it again. He crushes his half-empty beer can, so what does it matter? It would help if we could establish a timeline, says Kim. All right, 2 weeks maybe? I don't know. I need another beer. He turns to Glenn. Here you go, boss. The tall blonde throws him a can. Titus cracks it open. So what's your relationship with her, we can ask. Titus says, I know her. He looks around, and an uncommon silence fills the room. How well do you know her, says Kim. Well enough, copper. We partied. She's been here for a few months. He crosses his arms. So she's not from around here? You mean Revico? Nah, our Miss Orange disco dancer is an immigrant or a drifter of some sort. Been staying here over the winter. Don't you give her any more trouble, the fat guy blurts out. She's just had some bad luck, that's all. Shut up, Angie. He slaps his forehead. She doesn't need any of your help. Titus gives them both a look, and they fall silent. What's with all the silences? It's like these guys don't know how to feel about this. You should keep picking at it. Electrochemistry, and what was up with the partying she and Titus did? It sounds fun. You said you partied. Cool. That's cool. But what did you mean? What do you think I mean? Was it sex, drugs, and avoid his gaze? Did you do karaoke? Laugh nervously. Sex, drugs, and karaoke? Let's do sex? Yeah, pretty much, he says. So you're saying you two were close? No, we just had sex, that's all, he states matter-of-factly. I'm not going to give you any details if that's what you're after, so put your... This game! I can barely stream it, and I have to read everything, of course. He really went out of his way to seem comfortable with the topic. That's all you're going to get for now. Well, thank you. We'll talk to her, we can say. He points his beer can at you. Remember what I said, freight train of pain. And we can leave. Well, looks like we can talk with Kim.
Officer, what was that?
What was what? You looked strange when he mentioned the assault victim's name. He looks you in the eye. Do you know that woman? Yes. Is there something I should know before we talk to her? I met her in the hallway after we woke up. Understood. You were not in a good shape on Monday. She knows I didn't remember being a cop. Okay, he nods. That's manageable. I tried to hit on her. Understood. He is stone-faced. It went pretty okay. Better not add anything to that. She said I'm going to have to interrogate her later, and it's going to suck for me. It is. He nods. This would have been good to know before. It didn't come up. It should have. Anything else? I didn't rape her, I guess we can say. What you're saying is, he says in a low, calm face, you raped her? Ice is forming on the inside of your chest cavity. Cold sweat trickles down your neck. No! Then don't ever say that again. There's a pause. I said I didn't. I don't understand why. Okay, nothing. Let's move on. He nods. We'll be all right, officer. This is nothing. We feel fortified by his assurance that it's all going to be all right, and we can end. Well, after all of that, tell you what, let's save the game. Man, we managed to kill ourselves all in one broadcast and discover that we flirted with a poor woman who was assaulted without even realizing it. Well, that's Disco Elysium for you. And that's the end of the broadcast. Thank you all for joining me for this week's episode of Disco Elysium. I've got to head on out. But my next live stream will be Wednesday. We'll be doing Horizon Zero Dawn. Then Thursday, we'll continue with Layers of Fear until we finish that. I'm thinking we'll probably move on to Resident Evil 7 after Layers of Fear. Then we'll be continuing with The Witcher 3 on Friday. And I will have at least one lore video for you for the weekend. Hopefully 2 if I have enough time this week. Thank you all very much for coming by. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday, and I'll see you all very soon with more lore videos and more live streams. Bye-bye now.